Yes. On a Friday eve, Stiles and Watkins taking you up to 2 p.m. And once again, the Kings prove to us that they listen to the show. Every time we bury them here on this show, they prove us wrong. As they beat the defending champion Denver Nuggets last night, 102-98. Chris Watkins, how are you doing?
Pretty good, yeah. Feeling good after that's a really good way of sending yourself into the break. Mm-hmm. I think Brendan talked about it yesterday, how there is one positive of playing really good teams or having a stretch of playing good teams is if you beat them, you start to feel really good about how you're doing, right?
You are allowed to win.
It's possible. It really is possible. So feeling good about the fact that, yeah, they feel good heading into the All-Star break. We're going to play sound in the next couple segments, but Mike Brown talked about how this team desperately needs this all-star break right here, right now. It could not be coming at a better time. Saw Keegan Murray take a really scary fall yesterday, play through that. We've seen De'Aaron with his shoulder just kind of constantly grabbing at it. Sabonis
got caught in between someone yesterday.
Yeah, Sabonis is just playing his behind off, and so he could definitely use a couple days off. So I think everything is feeling good right now. The vibes seem high. I know there was a report yesterday or a reporter in Denver who said that the Kings were blasting music in the locker room. Yeah. So feeling good about feeling good.
It was club Denver.
Yeah, but club altitude. How about that?
Club altitude for the Kings. And fresh off a Target run, Nate Littlefield behind the glass. Nate, thank you so much for everything that you do for us on this show. Nate, are you there? How did it go? My wife was listening to that segment.
Kayla was severely sick and we couldn't go.
No.
We have to make it up, yeah.
Bro, are you serious?
She's bad. She's at home sick right now.
I'm sorry.
So she was crushed then. I mean,
yeah,
right?
she's
got to be
said
it was her favorite
made
day.
her cry in a good way.
Oh man, that's awesome. Good job.
You gotta bring Tarjay to her then.
Yeah, exactly.
I know. Yeah, it was a tough situation.
Dang.
There you go. Sorry to hear it, Nate. Sorry to hear it. Chris, how'd it go for you?
Honestly, my Valentine's Day did kind of get messed up too. I thought I was living in the future. We put in a DoorDash because obviously the Kings game was going on.
Yeah.
Put in a DoorDash at like 4:30 for hey, deliver it at 8 around the fourth quarter time. And then we actually went to Target during halftime. And then as we were leaving Target, I was like, oh, shoot, like it's about time for them to at least confirm our order. Look at my phone, and it says your order has been canceled because we couldn't get to it. And I was like, well, this would have been nice to know hours ago. Like
they took that long to say something?
It was about 45 minutes before it was supposed to be delivered. So had to kind of do a little bit of a rush. Ended up getting sushi anyway from a place downtown.
All those drivers were on strike yesterday.
Were they really?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. Well, I guess I helped the scabs, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
But, hey, I appreciate it. So,
wow.
They definitely deserve all the Uber Lyfts, the DoorDashers, all those people definitely deserve everything that they need because, man, they provide such an essential service when you need it the most. So I'm all for it.
There you go. Well, since I'm asking the questions, I don't think anybody.
Yeah, right. What did you do? How did your day go?
I'm going to tell you our Valentine's Day was outstanding.
Awesome. First one in Sac, too.
First one in Sac. So I told you that we cook. And what we do on social media, we have our own. We have a separate group chat that we've created, my wife and I, so we can just send food stuff.
Okay.
Right. So like our personal one, there's baby memes and things like that, but we have the food one separate. Okay. So when you want to look for them,
right.
You can find them.
That actually makes a lot of sense.
The breakdown was I had sent this, it was like a bread dip, right? She nailed the bread dip. And then there was, honestly, it was a fusion pasta where you take one bite, it tasted Asian-y, but it was also had the cream in it, so it also tasted more traditional Italian as well. Nailed that with the bucatini, and then I did the lobster and I did the shrimp as well, and it was phenomenal.
Yeah,
phenomenal.
So you had a picture and you said, guess what? I made. What did she made?
She made the
bread
pasta,
dip?
the broccolini, and the bread dip. Okay. I made the shrimp and the lobster.
Can you explain to me the difference between broccoli and broccolini? Because I don't think I like broccolini. But I
like
know what the difference
broccolini.
is.
I don't know.
I believe
broccolini.
broccolini is just long broccoli.
They're just long broccoli.
Yeah.
Right? You got to cook it right. Some garlic, some lemon, some salt, all that, and you're good to go. But yes, it was an outstanding first Valentine's Day with the girl. I got a card from my daughter. She made it herself. Wink, wink. She made it herself. So it was great stuff. It was great stuff.
Awesome. Love that.
And it was good to see the Kings get that W and head into the All-Star break on a good foot, because like I said, I hadn't felt good about things. And I sat here on these airwaves talking about how healthy they had been, or the health luck. Now, we know everybody's banged up, but we're going to get into some sound after the break that kind of illustrates how banged up these dudes really are, and maybe we didn't really understand that. And I think that it was great context from Coach Mike Brown to just peel back the curtain and peel back the layers to let us know what's really going on here. And look, every team is banged up, but there are levels to this. So for the Kings to power through, I know no Jamal Murray last night, but for the Kings to power through and get that W, I don't think you can draw up a Valentine's Day any better if you are a Valentine's Day beam. How about that?
No, absolutely. And I think the biggest thing that I'm feeling most positive about from yesterday, obviously them eventually getting to the break, but the fact that they won a game in the fashion that they did, like it's a proof of concept. Like Mike Brown can yell at these guys and say, guys, I swear to you, we can make 0 threes and it's possible to win a basketball game. It's one thing for him to preach it and everybody's going to hear it and say, man, this guy's crazy. Like, if we're not hitting shots, like, it's a make or miss league at the end of the day. Teams are scoring 130 points per game. Scoring's up. We need to hit shots in order to win. Now Mike Brown has a physical, tangible proof. He could show them the box score and say, look, we hit 9 threes. We shot, I think, 27% from 3. We didn't hit a shot. It felt like the entire first half.
Right.
And you know what happened? We played defense. We kept at it. We did not give up. And you know what happened? The shots still didn't really fall. But, man, you give yourself a chance by not turning the ball over. They didn't have a single turnover in that third quarter. And it's possible, man. Like, there's different ways to win besides just shooting the lights out and just straight out scoring or outlasting a team. And I think it's really big for this team to pick up one of these kind of wins, because I would have to look back, but I seriously can't think of a time in which the Kings played or shot or played that poorly on the offensive end and still actually ended up getting the result, especially in a comeback fashion where it was at the end of the game where they really made their biggest run. They could have folded
completely.
There were so many different chances.
And look, we know there's no Jamal Murray, but when Aaron Gordon drops 25, Jackson drops 12, you have 8 from Holiday, and there was no KCP either.
Right.
But 8 from Holiday, Najee with 8, Gillespie with 3, Brown with 5. You could make the argument, okay, unless Jamal and KCP went off, they kind of made up for that, and I think it's enough to still feel good about this win. We've talked ad nauseum about where Jamal Murray falls on that list, so I wouldn't take anything away from the Kings, even though he didn't play, because I think you got similar production from the guys that did play. As we get to break, one thing I want to kind of kick around, Chris, as we're talking about the Nuggets, and I see you on the Sack Chat, somebody, Tom Cherwicki, was saying that, or was it Tom? Yeah. Somebody was saying, no, Chuck Lee was saying that he was watching the Denver Nuggets YouTube, one of their YouTube channels, and nobody was giving the Kings any respect.
Oh, of course not.
Is there a weird, and we see every time Jokic and Sabonis go at it, Sabonis is kind of balled out against Jokic lately, and there were people that said, well, they're up the back-to-back the last time he balled out. Well, what's there to say now, right? What are they going to say now? And is there a weird rivalry in a unique way with the Nuggets, simply because, and it's a rivalry, like I said, going to Temple when we get really juiced to play Villanova in basketball, or we get really juiced to play Penn State in football. I don't know if it's reciprocated because a little bit of a little brother thing going on there. But is there a little bit of a rivalry because Nuggets fans think that Jokic is on a completely different level, which he is, but maybe it's not as far away as we all think? Is that a crazy statement?
I don't think it's team wide. I think Sabonis.
Not team wide.
I think Sabonis feels a lot of pride in that matchup for sure. I mean, like, we can't forget that those are two international centers too. Like that is a global stage that those two are when they go against each other. They're thinking there's people all across the world watching this matchup, looking to see, like, are these truly the two best centers in the NBA? And I know obviously Joel Embiid has his corner that he definitely stays on, but Sabonis plays all the games. Sabonis is out there all the time, and he's putting up numbers. He's really the only one who, when we're talking about numbers and style of play, like, he's the one who's most similar to Nikola Jokic. And, he's just not really blessed with – Jokic is like a legit 7'2", 7'3". He's got crazy, like, generational vision and passing ability. Sabonis is a guy who seems to have maximized just every ounce of basketball talent that he's got. And so I just think that there's a real pride between the two in that matchup. And I definitely think Sabonis cares about it more for sure, but I think it's real. I think that those two definitely get excited to play each other.
Yeah. And look, man, obviously I got my buddies that are now listening to this show, and they're hey, we've always liked the Kings, even though we're Warrior fans. And they're telling me, when I first started doing this radio show, the same guys that were saying, I don't know, man, Sabonis, I don't get it, this, that. They're texting me saying, all right, Sabonis might be that guy, right? Slowly but surely, we bringing people on. We believe in. All right, got to get to a break. When we get back, we'll hear from Coach Mike Brown as he talked about how the guys are banged up heading into the All-Star break and the future of the Kings now that they might be rolling again. Stiles Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Subscribe to Sactown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sactown Sports.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Woodland. What's happening, Chad, for Chrysler's President's Day sale?
I haven't been this excited about a deal in a long time. Right now, you can save $18,000 off MSRP on new 2023 Jeep Gladiator EcoDiesels. This thing can get up to 28 miles per gallon on the highway, and it's the perfect combination of off-road fun and work truck. Plus, it's the #1 new quality vehicle among midsize trucks, according to J.D. Power.
And you're selling them with an $18,000 discount? That seems a little crazy.
Well, we do things a little different here at Hoblet. We're here to help you find the vehicle you need at the best possible price. That's why we don't have a bunch of dealer markups, surprise add-ons, or fees. At Hoblet, you get the small town experience with the big city savings and selection.
There's no better time to take advantage of this savings at Hoblet. See their full selection at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
At Hoblet, you get the small town experience with the big city savings, selection, and no surprise hidden fees.
$18,000 net savings after $11,096 factory rebates and $6,904 dealer discounts. Rebates may include $500 first responder bonus cash. Must be current member of eligible first responder association. Qualify 5 at this net savings. Sample VIN 553-385. See dealer for details.
Sactown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
From the 925, shout out the 925, by the way, on the text line. The Kings, this is fair. The Kings, like every other team, get up for the Nuggets. The Nuggets aren't getting up for the Kings. Maybe not team-wide, but Jokic and Sabonis, that's separate. I could see that, right? I believe that.
I'm not putting that into last night. I think last night everybody's looking ahead. I don't think last night has anything to do with like the Nuggets not getting up for the Kings. I think everybody's going to struggle getting up for the last game before vacation.
Yeah.
But in general, I mean, sure, but also the Denver Nuggets as the defending champions, we talked about it more so in the preseason, but we talked about it with the Kings, where there's going to be some nights where the Kings are the hunted. There's going to be some nights where the Kings are the hunter. With the Denver Nuggets, when you're the defending champs, that's what makes it so hard to repeat after winning a championship is every single night. It doesn't matter if you're playing the Kings. It doesn't matter if you're playing the Pistons. Every night, people are saying, we're playing the defending champs. Tonight's a night to make a statement. And so, that's just kind of how it is. So, I mean, I'm not saying you're wrong, but I just think that's the case with when you play every single defending champion is, the team that's playing against them is always going to be more hyped for them. And again, that's what makes it so hard the season after you win a championship to sustain that level of success.
Chris, I'm trying to confirm here, and if I'm not mistaken, the Kings only play the Nuggets one more time.
Yes, we've already played them 3 times.
So the Nuggets, so the
3-0.
So
far.
Well, they lost one.
No, I don't think so. I believe
they're 3-0.
They are.
The Nuggets also knew last night that the Kings are coming off of back-to-back.
So the Nuggets, So the Nuggets, the first one was no Jamal Murray.
Right.
The second one was this more recent one.
Yep.
And then last night.
Yes.
So they are 3-0.
Yep.
So look, it doesn't matter whether anybody is getting up for the Kings or not. On a day like today, where we're gonna chill until the All-Star break, we're gonna celebrate because
Beggars
last night
cannot be choosers.
No,
this is not Chipotle.
Well, no, it's not. All right, and I just tried their brisket, by the way. It's pretty darn good.
Fire.
I'm not gonna sit here after I kind of buried the Kings last night. And look, I reserve the right to change my mind. Not even saying I'm doing that now, but I'm saying the Kings just went out and they have won the season series. They are undefeated against the defending champs. Yep. I don't care if the Nuggets didn't get up. I don't care if Jamal Murray didn't play. Because Jamal Murray's been in and out, and the Nuggets have still been in that 3-4 seed, right? So this is a day to celebrate because the Kings, for as much as they struggled against certain teams, they are undefeated against the defending champs. There's no way to spin that in a negative way. I don't care.
I don't get it. No, I don't get it. They got it, like you said, they got to win against the defending champs. They got it in an ugly fashion in which they typically don't win games. So I don't understand what there would be to be upset about. Today is definitely a day to celebrate. Again, definitely celebrate the fact that these guys are going to be getting healthy right now as well. But there's nothing really negative to take out of yesterday because They fought, man. They fought really, really hard for that game, and it would have been so easy to lay down. They even, Chris Duarte gets the defensive player of the game crown. Yeah. Like everybody, it was a real statement. It was a character win for this Kings team, and I refuse to take. Of course, there were negative things about it, but overall, I think getting the result and how they got the result, I'm thrilled with the performance yesterday, or not necessarily the performance, but just the overall results of yesterday. I'm just taking nothing but positive.
That was the game that we were waiting for the Kings to pull off, right? We've been sitting here saying, and it's just a collective we. Maybe it's not you listening in your car. Maybe it's not you listening on through YouTube on the Sac Chat, but we've been waiting to see the Kings win ugly.
Yeah.
Okay. How do you win when you're not shooting the 3-ball? They shot 27% from 3-ball land, and they beat the defending champs.
Can I tell you too? That is 27% from 3 is the lowest percentage that they have shot, and 27.3% is the lowest 3-point percentage that they have shot in a win this season. They have had 6 games where they have shot 27% or lower. All of them are losses. All of them are terrible losses as well.
They probably lost to some bad teams.
They lost to Philly. They lost to Portland, Minnesota, New Orleans, Houston, and the Clippers. So they were actually good teams, but they just got destroyed in all of those games. A loss by 20, a loss by 18, a loss by 36, a loss by, all of them are double-digit losses. And I think it's huge that this team gets a win not shooting the ball well, but also they didn't take a lot of threes too. The Phoenix game, they shot 31 threes. That's their second lowest 3-point attempts of the season. And then yesterday they shoot 33. That's tied for their third lowest attempts from 3. So that's also another positive is how many times have we said these guys are just shooting? Like, it doesn't matter if they're making it or not. They're going to take 43s. Having that level of reserve and understanding, if the shots aren't falling, get to the rim, or don't just take them because it's baked into the offense. Look for something else. Again, I'm taking positives out of yesterday's game, and positives only.
78% from free throw. I'll take it.
I'll take it. You know,
I will take
like
that.
I said, positives only. That's better than 73%.
Yeah, De'Aaron 4 for 6. Keegan 2 for 2. He got to the rack a little bit. Harrison Barnes 5 for 6. You have Sabonis 2 for 3, and Sabonis, just another great performance. Didn't get the triple-double last night, but keeps that double-double streak going as well. And look, it's just a game. It's just a game where you check the pulse on the team and you say, hey, who do we want to be? And I continue to go back to what Coach Mike Brown said as far as February is really the month that's going to show everybody who they are, who they want to be. Do you want to go to Cancun? Do you want to go to Cabo? Okay. Or do you want to go to a Western Conference final? Do you want to go to the second round? Do you want to elevate your game and take it to another level? Or do you just want to chill? Do you just want to stand pat and say, hey, we'll go to the play-in. Maybe we'll win. Maybe we'll lose. Because this is going to be a fight. This is going to be a fight all the way through. And I heard De'Aaron Fox as well talk about it in the post-game interview as he said, hey, we know that we need these wins and we know that they're not going to be easy to come by. They are very cognizant. This is what I do like about the play-in, and I don't know why it feels different than when there wasn't a play-in. They're very cognizant of how close they are each and every day of this thing going south, right? And sometimes you need that kick in the fanny to say, hey, we don't want to mess around. I mean, this is a team that had aspirations. I'll continue to go back to when you and Whitey were there at Media Day. They were sitting there talking about championships. Yep. Okay, they're not talking about the play-in. Play-in. You got to be better than that. And they are trying to get there. Will this be the last time, or will yesterday be the last time that I rip the Kings and feel like they aren't, or Chris as well, they aren't playing to the best of their abilities? No, because they tick us off. This is why can't we see this every single night? Right. If you can just get to 80% of this against the non-defending champs, you won't have to worry about messing around in the play-in because you'll win the games that you're supposed to win. All right, got to get to a break. When we get back, we will hear from Coach Mike Brown and how banged up this team actually is. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Keegan Murray plays here.
Keegan scores another three-pointer. Keegan Murray knocking it down for 23 points. Match De'Aaron Fox for game scoring honors.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
This year, Dell Technologies wants to help you do amazing things with their best tech. For a limited time only, save on select next-gen PCs like the XPS 13 Plus, powered by Intel Core processors, and more. Plus, curate your dream setup with great deals on select monitors, mice, and more must-have electronics and accessories. When you shop online at Dell.com/deals, you'll have access to leading-edge technology to match your forward-thinking spirit and free shipping on everything. Again, that's Dell.com/deals.
Timmy, everybody. Great job. Next up, we have Samantha.
10 times better performance can make a big difference. Castrol Edge Motor Oil gives your engine 10 times better high-temperature performance. Castrol Edge, better oil for maximum performance. Now through March 4th, get 5 quarts of Castrol Edge or Edge High Mileage Full Synthetic and an oil filter for $36.99, only at AutoZone.
Claim based on Sequence 3 H test versus API SP test limits.
Capital Casino has been serving the greater Sacramento area in the same convenient downtown location for over 20 years, with plenty of close-by, well-lit parking monitored by security staff and offering the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Best food, best service, and the best action. That's Capital Casino. For more information on tournaments and gaming, check out their website at capital-casino.com. And please remember to gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Awesome. Hey, babe, can you check the front door? My package is here.
Yeah, on it. Hey, are we still watching our show tonight?
New episode on Prime? You bet. That reminds me, let's hit Whole Foods this afternoon. We need snack supplies.
From package deliveries to entertainment and even fresh groceries, Amazon is in front of hundreds of thousands of customers every single day. Imagine what you could do if your business had that kind of reach. It's not a dream. Right now, you can take advantage of Amazon's expansive network to benefit your business. Unlock expert insights and tap into the full potential of Amazon. Simply text DIGITAL to 916-766-5105 now. Make the smart move. Text DIGITAL to 916-766-5105. Put the power of Amazon to work for you. Text DIGITAL, that's DIGITAL, to 916-766-5105.
Denise has been playing jazz for 40 years. Last concert, one of the musicians fell sick with RSV. Respiratory syncytial virus, or RSV, is a highly contagious virus that can lead to breathing problems. This time, she's choosing to help protect herself with Pfizer's RSV vaccine, Abrysvo. Abrysvo is a vaccine for the prevention of lower respiratory tract disease caused by respiratory syncytial virus, RSV, in adults 60 years of age and older. Abrysvo is not for everyone and may not protect all who receive the vaccine. Don't get Abrysvo if you've had a severe allergic reaction to its ingredients. People with a weakened immune system may have a decreased response to Abrysvo. The most common side effects are tiredness, headache, pain at the injection site, and muscle pain. Ask your pharmacist or doctor about Pfizer's RSV vaccine, Abrysvo, respiratory syncytial virus vaccine. For full prescribing information, please call 1-844-989-7284 or visit abrysvo.com. Brought to you by Pfizer.
Hey, it's Doug Christie here for Folsom Lake Ford. During the President's Day Sell-a-thon, get 0 down deals on approval of credit, huge discounts, and top dollar for all trades. Shop your truck headquarters at folsomlakeford.com.
Reggie Jackson will put the ball in play. Ball fake to the left, inbounds pass to Holiday. Back to Jackson. Pocket pick by Fox. Breakaway coming up. De'Aaron spikes it with a left-hand rip, and the Kings have scored 9 straight. Here come the Nuggets right back. A run to the rim. Shot missed by Holiday. Rebound Sabonis. Gives it up to Malik Monk. 1:10 to go in this one. Sacramento leading 98-93. Now they space the floor. Spread things out now. Try to milk a little bit of clock. We hit the 1 minute mark. It's Fox into the paint. Circles to the left. Goes high glass. He scores again. And the Kings have hit the century mark. And they lead by 7 with 58.7 seconds to go. Denver takes another timeout.
Don't miss your chance at Daniel Tosh tickets. 1 p.m. Live Nation has teamed up with Sactown Sports for your chance to see Daniel Tosh at Hard Rock Live April 12th. All you have to do is hit up Folsom Lake Honda Hotline at 1 p.m. and Chris will pick the number. Chris Watkins
I've got the power.
The number today, and Nate will take care of you if you are the lucky caller. Chris, I got to say this.
What up?
Right now. All right, I'm just seeing this from Overtime.
Oh, our favorite.
And they had a whole
they had a whole setup.
They had a whole setup, and they don't even really talk football, I don't think. But they had a whole setup. They were on the outside.
They had Derrick Henry over there.
I keep telling you, Overtime is on the way up.
It's crazy.
They got draft picks.
They got their own league.
Yeah, they got their own league.
Going on.
So Overtime just tweeted this. Dylan Batty dropped 41 points in 9 minutes. Temple commit.
Oh, really?
Temple commit. Dude. Dylan Batty dropped 41 points in 9 minutes. I text my friends, text my teammates during the break, because what does that mean?
I need a baddie.
I need a baddie. What does that mean? Temple is so back, and or he's about to decommit and go somewhere else.
No, what I'm reading
about
from
to go somewhere
that
else.
is this man is about to rival Grady Dick with the most sold jersey in history.
Right.
It's going to be incredible.
Temple, we need a baddie.
I need a Temple baddie jersey.
I need that right now. All right. Okay. Stat. The NIL. We'll figure it out.
Is it spelled B-A-D-D-I-E?
No, it's Batty. B-A-T-T-I. But no one's going to say Batty.
No, you got
Batty.
Yeah.
Batty.
Yeah. Batty boy.
Yeah. And everyone's asking, well, who the heck was he playing? 41 points in only 9 minutes. I just don't know how that's possible. Yeah, I don't know how that's physically possible, but he was cooking. Yeah. He was cooking. All right. Shout out T for Temple U as we continue to talk about the Kings and a huge victory against the Denver Nuggets last night. Chris, you had some sound from Coach Mike Brown and just really some surprising statements from him. As I guess not surprising, but now we're just going to list out everything and see you later, folks. We'll see you in a week.
Yeah, this definitely falls into the, well, that would have been nice to know category for sure. Mike Brown yesterday after the game, I mean, I mentioned, Keegan falling yesterday. I also yesterday talked about how Keegan, it's not really being talked a lot about how Keegan just really hasn't had a break since he left college. And then, Mike Brown comes out yesterday and essentially says what we've been wondering about De'Aaron, been wondering about, or what I've been wondering about Keegan. Here's you can hear for yourself. Here's what Mike Brown had to say about the health of his team heading into the All-Star break.
For us,
I know probably a lot of teams think the same way, but for us, the All-Star break couldn't have come at a better time. We just got a lot of guys that are just banged up. We played Doma's heavy minutes these last couple of nights. We played Fox heavy minutes tonight. These last couple of nights, he played 43 minutes a night. Those guys are a little banged up. It'd be great to get them some rest, but a little concerned about Keegan. He stepped on somebody's ankle during the course of the game. He took a hard fall, and he just gutted it out. But his body, for a young guy, his body's banged up pretty good right now. So just knowing that we have these, 5-6 days to get a little rest and get our feet back underneath us. Start with Keegan, with him stepping on some of his foot and his fall.
Man. Yeah. And just I didn't even think about the minutes portion of it. He talked about how he's looking at it here. De'Aaron played 39 minutes against Phoenix. He played 42 last night. And then looking at Sabonis's game log is insane. Really just the last month, he's got a 45-minute game that was against Orlando. He's got a 45-minute game when he played against Milwaukee. He's scratching the surface of 40 minutes so many times. Had 41 against OKC, had 40 against Detroit. This dude is logging minutes and putting up numbers while he's doing it. Like, it's just, to me, opened up my eyes even more to these dudes are just they are exhausted. Mm-hmm. They are completely exhausted, and they have given everything to this team. Sabonis and Harrison Barnes have played every single game this year. I can't imagine the toll that's taken on them. It's just that this team needs a break, man. Like you mentioned earlier how, every team deals with fatigue and every team is tired. Every team's dealing with nicks and bruises. The difference with this Kings team is really, with the exception of De'Aaron missing those games in the beginning of the year, they're not taking random nights off. No. You'll catch Paul George just taking a night off. LeBron takes 2-3 nights off in a row sometimes. These guys aren't doing that. They understand that in order to maximize this roster's potential and more so their winning potential, they have to be out there every single night giving 100% effort for 48 minutes. And it takes a toll on you. It really does. And it's a little concerning long term. Like, hey, if you guys end up getting to a conference finals or God forbid an NBA finals, are you guys going to be too fatigued after the regular season of not just the games? We've heard and seen Mike Brown practice these dudes like crazy. If they have an off day, they're practicing. If they land and it's 10 o'clock in the morning, they're going to practice immediately after landing that plane. So they're exhausted. And, again, it's something that maybe be concerned about when this team's making deep playoff runs. But even right now throughout the regular season, it's a bit concerning how much they're relying on these guys.
Well, that's what I asked you. And I said, De'Aaron Fox has never taken a random day. And I said, well, what about giving Sabonis a break? And you essentially said, they just can't do that.
What break?
Yeah, they just can't do that. And that's also concerning because if something were to happen, it just feels like are the Kings more Sabonis dependent or Fox dependent?
Sabonis.
Easily.
Yeah, easily. For me.
And I don't like that.
The past 2 years. Yeah.
I don't like that at all. It is what it is. There's nothing you can do about
Gotta
it.
Be relying on somebody.
Do you think it's worth looking for, even though they call Sabonis a generic store Jokic, can you find a generic store Sabonis? In the offseason?
That's ideally what I want. Like last year when there was a lot of talk of the Kings have to bring in a backup center at the trade deadline, my guy was Mason Plumlee. You look at someone who can pass, someone who can set screens and get the screen assist that Sabonis does, because that's really the main thing that we're talking about is just setting other people up. Of course, many people aren't going to be able to rebound at the level Sabonis does, but can you go in and essentially be the offensive Sabonis replacement? I think that's Kings fans, cover your ears. I think that's what's so enticing about looking at a Draymond Green is that it's literally just, that is quite literally what his role is in Golden State.
Yeah.
But if you can get a lesser version of that, absolutely. So it's definitely something to look at. I also wonder, like we talk about the future of this team and, the hierarchy of the Kings need a third option. maybe the Kings need a second option so that Sabonis, not because Sabonis isn't good enough, but because this dude's so reliant on setting other people up, having to get his own as well on top of that, maybe it'd be more productive to let De'Aaron and some other star really be the ones who have the scoring load and just let Sabonis do all of the other stuff. So he really, you don't have to worry as much about his fatigue. It's definitely something I've been thinking about the last couple of days for sure.
Yeah, now there's nothing they can do about it now. We read off the buyout market people, and even Gallinari, who's a little bit different. I read he's on his way to he's either going off to the Bucks. Is it the Bucks or just it's either the Bucks, the Clip. There were two teams. I know one of the teams was the Bucks, and then I think the other team was either the Clippers or, of course, the Suns. Because the Suns, they're just stockpiling. Just give me players.
Yeah,
we just want every player that we can possibly have. And one guy we haven't talked about, just an incredibly efficient game for your own Harrison Barnes, 6 for 9 from the field. So he didn't take more shots than I think the night before. He had 8. So he goes 6 for 9 field goals, 3 for 6 from three-point land, 20 points, 5 for 6 from the field.
Love it.
Just do that.
Yeah.
Just give me that.
Yeah.
Harrison, just be that.
Yes.
If you are that, then I will stop talking trash in terms of getting to the second round or not making it out of the first round. Harrison Barnes, if you could be at that 15 to 20, or 13, 12 to 20, that is the difference.
Yep.
That's the difference. That's the difference between Monty McNair looking like he is Marty McFly from the future and people wanting him out of town. Not that you should want him out of town, but it's Harrison Barnes.
It is, yeah, 100%.
It is Harrison Barnes, all right? Because I will say I just don't know at this point. Kevin Huerter, I think we know he is who he is at this point. For this season, maybe we're wrong. Maybe he's
about
catch
to go on a
fire.
heater.
Maybe he's about to go on a heater.
Right.
As long as there's somebody going on a heater at some point, this has been like the Harrison Barnes era. As that starts to cool off, can we go back into the Keegan Murray era? And then after that, can we go back into the Kevin Huerter era? We just need that third person at some point. And then you mix in Malik Monk. And again, to win a game, and that was Harrison Barnes making up for Malik Monk, who had been on a heater 30 minutes. Okay, he's 2 for 11 from field goal, 0 for 3. His three-point shot is a struggle bus right now. And for the Kings to power through, he had 6 points, all right, 3 turnovers again. So Malik, it's a little tough. 3 turnovers for Keegan Murray, which is a little bit interesting. I don't really know how that even happens. How does that happen?
No idea. Yeah, I have no idea. Keegan doesn't put the ball on the ground barely ever. So for him to get 3 turnovers, he just seems off. I mean, it makes sense. Mike Brown, notice how it went in that clip we played. He said Sabonis a little banged up, Fox a little banged up. The word he used for Keegan is, I'm a little worried about Keegan. And it could have just been because he took that. It was a really nasty fall. I'm honestly surprised Keegan. Actually, I shouldn't be surprised Keegan didn't react at all. But like it looked like he could have really hurt his arm, his wrist, something. But the fact Mike Brown said really worried about Keegan is a bit concerning for sure. I don't think long term, but I think more in the sense of, this dude could the fact that, yesterday we were talking about this guy has just been on whatever the opposite of a heater he is on. And it definitely an igloo. Absolutely. Yeah. He has not been there these past couple weeks. And I think it's probably because he's feeling it.
And because he's not
the
close
experience to deal with it.
Because these shots aren't close. No. That's what's tripping me out. And that's it's like, okay, you're missing short, you're missing long, but you're on target. What do they say about shooters? You miss short, you miss long. But when you're missing, when you're hitting, when you look like me shooting, at times, I can get on a heater too. But when you look like some dude out, he's not even hitting the rim.
No,
Chris, you can tell, okay, something is off. We got to get to a break. When we get back, could the biggest acquisition that the Kings made be a guy that may not even get on the court? The bench vibes might be vibing. Stiles Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Trying to find out where to catch your favorite team's games?
Are you a fan of the Kings, Niners, and the NFL? Well, Sactown Sports has you covered.
Touchdown! San Francisco! It's all on his shoulders. Cox rocks. He fires for the win. He's got the triple.
Catch all your Kings, Niners, and NFL games all year long on Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Brakes? We can save you 15% on that. We have OE quality Duralast brake pads and rotors in stock, ready for pickup or delivery. We also have calipers, brake fluid, tools, and anything else you'll need to do the job right. When you get Duralast pads and rotors together, you'll save 15%. It's just part of what makes us America's #1 brakes destination.
Get in zone, AutoZone.
With your choice of select sandwich, nugs, fries, and a drink, Wendy's $5 Biggie Bag is your go-to. Your nugget wingman. Your hot and crispy fry co-pilot.
Just like us. We're like the bag boys.
What?
Bag boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when we bring your food?
For a deal you can count on, bet on Biggie and choose wisely. Choose Wendy's.
Bag boys, bag boys.
U.S. price participation may vary. Includes choice of GBC or crispy chicken sandwich with 4-piece nugs, junior fry, and small soft drink. Third-party delivery pricing may be higher.
Carmichael Dave here for Jiffy Lube, your proud sponsor of the Drive of the Game. Listen to every Kings game for Gary Gerald's Drive of the Game call. Then listen to Jason and me the next morning for a chance to win a $100 Jiffy Lube certificate, courtesy of all the Jiffy Lube locations in the greater Sacramento area. Jiffy Lube, your place for oil changes, wiper blades, tire rotations, and more. Hey, for valuable coupons and a location near you, visit jiffylube.com.
With RT Painting, our name says it all. We are a reliable and trusted commercial and residential painting company serving the Sacramento area since 1998. Employee-owned, our attention to detail is second to none. Put our decades of experience serving our community to use for you. Get a free quote today. Call us at 916-900-8112. That's 916-900-8112. Or go online to rtpainting.com. That's rtpainting.com. RT Painting, your trusted and reliable painting contractor of choice.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
No fees on all Kings tickets happening now. You can experience Sacramento Kings basketball live with no fees on all remaining games. Watch as the Kings take on the top teams in both conferences, including big matchups against the Bucks, Lakers, Knicks, Clippers, and more. Score big on tickets and cheer on the Beam team as they make a push for the playoffs. Don't miss out. This limited time offer is only valid until February 20th. Visit kings.com/no fees to take advantage of this deal today.
Get ready for an exciting drive in the 2024 Kia Forte GT line, now at Elk Grove Kia for just $19,988. Experience efficiency with an impressive 39 mpg, smooth rides with automatic transmission, and stay on track with the lane departure warning system for only $19,988. Enjoy modern conveniences with its huge 10.25-inch touchscreen with navigation and a rear camera, Bluetooth wireless technology, and the ease of push-button start for only $19,988. Or lease this incredible ride with no cash out of pocket for only $279 per month plus tax. You heard right. No money down and only $279 plus tax. Elk Grove Kia, where driving dreams come true. Visit us today in the Elk Grove Auto Mall or online at elkgrovekia.com. Sale price $20,738. Dealer choice rebate $750. Net price $19,988. Must finance through Kia Finance 5 at this price. 24 monthly zero cash down. Residual of $63,950 based at 10K per year. 20 cents a mile. Over 0 security deposit. Kia Tier 1 approval required. Expires 2/15/2024.
Elk Grove Kia.
Grabbed by Trey Lyles, gives to Fox. Quickly across the logo, accelerates on Brown. Plants in the paint, leans in, 8-footer. Heel the rim and out, no good. Offensive rebound, put back, hangs, no good. Tipped in by Trey Lyles. Man, Fox just having the hardest time getting shots to fall, but Trey Lyles this time, there was no foul call, and he was able to get the offensive rebound, his second chance put back. We're back to a 3-point possession game.
Here we go. Here we go. The summer is going to be hot. Okay. This is from an Eastern Conference exec. I love when they don't say who they are. It's just, I love the mystique of it. New Orleans has to make a decision between Zion and Ingram. I think that happens this summer. That is from an Eastern Conference exec.
Okay.
Who's coming to Sacramento? Zion, we got good food out here too. Great food out here in Sacramento. I mean, I love a Brandon Ingram too.
I'm trying to think, like, what does a Zion like trade value even look like these days? Like how do you properly evaluate what he's done and try and predict how available he's going to be in the future? I just, that feels impossible almost to me. Like it's almost like a different version of the Ben Simmons trade from a couple years ago, where it's like, who am I trading for? Like, I don't even know if this guy is going to play. Like, yeah, when he does play, he's MVP quality, but I cannot trade you for that kind of value. That's insane.
Would you, if you're the Knicks, because I think he was another New York guy, would you do straight up? Who says no to this deal? Zion for Julius Randle, straight up.
New Orleans.
New Orleans says no.
That's not enough. That's not enough for him.
I'm
also like incredibly low on Julius Randle, but
the Knicks might say that both sides might say no.
I think the Knicks would say yes to that pretty easily.
Yeah.
I think they would be pretty excited about that. I feel like with Zion, I mean, he's still the number one pick in the draft. He's still, I mean, especially with how many games he's played this year, you can convince teams that, hey, he's turned a new leaf and all this stuff, and you're getting in on the ground floor almost. You know, it's strange. I don't know. I think New York is probably the most likely candidate. But you know, Brandon Ingram too is somebody. Don't sleep on Brandon Ingram and his trade value too.
I like Brandon Ingram.
I would ship off a lot for Brandon Ingram.
I like Brandon Ingram. I mean, what do we? Is he a generic store KD?
Yeah,
I'll take that all day.
Yeah.
From the 925 Murray. I can't wait for the summer. This is all I'm going to say. No, I can't wait for the summer. Murray and 4 first-round picks for healthy Zion. I can't wait. Thank you, 925. I cannot wait for the summer. And getting back to we're still in the winter, but almost in the spring.
Yep.
As we are talking about the Kings and the bench mob. Have the Kings found their Kent Bazemore? The vibes, we've talked about the bench vibes and how the Kings don't really have the same bench vibes as other teams. Well, Mason Jones is a guy who is now on a 2-way deal with Keon, being converted to a full-time or a permanent player on the roster. And Mason Jones, he kept the vibes very high. And Mike Brown shouts him out last night about his energy on the bench.
I got to say, Mason Jones, we just signed him to a 2-way deal. He didn't play at all tonight, but his impact in the game was huge. He was, the energy he brought from being on the bench was phenomenal. I mean, every time out, before I can even take 3 steps on the floor, he's sprinting past me, high-fiving guys, talking to guys during the game. He's talking to guys. And, we have a fairly quiet group. And so for him to bring that type of energy was phenomenal.
I think it matters.
Definitely.
I think it matters. I mean, if you didn't know who he was prior to last night, you definitely found yourself asking the question, because he was right there every single time out, keeping the guys kind of juiced up. And this is a kind of a mild-mannered team. Okay, yeah. Sabonis, he'll let out a yell, and I wouldn't call Sabonis mild-mannered, but De'Aaron Fox mild-mannered, Keegan mild-mannered. I would even say Kevin Huerter mild-mannered. Obviously, Harrison Barnes. You need somebody, and the guys on the bench too. You have Trey Lyles who will protect his guys, and obviously Malik Monk. I wouldn't call mild-mannered, but this is a pretty chill team.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a pretty chill team, very opposite to some of the other teams in the NBA. So you need somebody to keep that energy up, the yin to the Kings' current yang. And I thought it was outstanding, Chris. If I've always said, and this is pre-NIL, I've always said it would be so dope to just be on somebody's bench mob. I don't need to check in. I don't need to be in the game.
Oh, yeah.
The walk-ons is chilling.
Yes.
Right, during March Madness or the
Still
playoffs.
Get all the team attire.
That, to me, is one of the dopest jobs you can have. So shout out
quarterback, right?
Exactly. Shout out Mason Jones for really just giving the Kings something that we haven't seen before.
No, for sure. And, especially with how that game played out, that's how you earn a contract, or that's how you get noticed. Like you said, you're on a 2-way deal. No one's really thinking about you. You just got here. The best way of imprinting yourself onto coaches, onto the fan base, is to do what Mason Jones did. Be the one who stands up. Yeah, Kent Bazemore is the perfect example. Kent Bazemore literally made a name for himself by doing bench celebrations. And that stuff is real. Again, in with how that game played out yesterday, with that comeback, you can directly point to, whether it's true or factual or not, you can point to Mason Jones having that energy in the second quarter, in the third quarter, and then when they come back in the fourth quarter, like that's real to have somebody who tangibly is keeping the spirits up and trying to tell guys, even if they don't want to hear it, like, let's go. We're still in this. You guys got this. And I think that's a very, very real thing. And they desperately do need somebody like that. We've talked about how, again, Draymond, Jimmy Butler, those kind of guys, like people who are going to not be afraid of being vocal leaders. That's what this team desperately needs. And I don't think we're going to have a two-way guy be a leader on this team,
Sure.
but at the same time, leaders can come from anywhere. And so I definitely think he can at least spark something in this team. Or again, even if Mike Brown just uses it as an example in the future to tell guys, just be like Mason was that one game. Like much like how you can show this game entirety as a proof of concept for the team. Show it to the guys on the bench and say, hey, if you're not getting minutes, I'm gonna tell you what, I'm a lot more likely to give Mason Jones minutes now than I was yesterday.
Yeah. Because we're at a lot of the home games, and there's like a lull between when the pregame ends and then tip off, and I find myself, okay, I gotta clean a diaper or whatever it is. The handshakes. Are there a lot of handshakes on the Kings? I feel like I don't see
not an excessive amount.
I don't see a lot of handshakes.
Malik and De'Aaron have one.
Can we get some more Can we get some more handshakes?
Yeah.
As silly as that sounds.
I know Malik. I think Malik is really the one that does that. And it probably is because Malik spent some time with LeBron, and that LeBron is quite literally
8,000 handshakes.
He literally has a handshake with everybody.
Well,
which is like,
I love.
It's a real testament to his memory.
Well,
too,
don't start.
Are you kidding me?
Well, that's what I was gonna say.
If I had to remember 17 different handshakes with 17 different people, I'm lost. And then I got an old teammate walking up.
No, that's what I said.
Like,
The broadcaster, and Bob, look at LeBron, and he still remembers his handshake with Kyrie. How outstanding!
That's
kind of
crazy. That's kind of crazy.
They played together for a long time.
Yeah, but like think about all the different gesture, and like you got to remember that specific one and the rhythm of it. Like that's kind of crazy.
Yeah,
I don't know. I mean, I've never been a creative handshake person.
I love the handshakes.
I would love to have a creative handshake, but it also at the same time feels like a headache.
I love the handshakes. I'll come up.
I love them.
Me and Nate have a handshake.
Is that true?
Nate?
Yeah.
I feel like Nate didn't know that.
We don't have it, but we need to create one. I need handshakes with everybody when we walk into the studio, into the stew. We do different handshakes.
You and Bobby Flay got one, I think.
Me and Bobby do have one. Me, Carmichael, Dave, Jason, Ross. I want handshakes with everybody.
Whitey and Drapes, all of it.
Whitey, Drapes, and then I need handshakes when we walk into the building at the Kings games.
Yeah.
We need handshakes everywhere, and that's what
a
Mason
lot
Jones.
of hand sanitizer.
All the hand sanitizer, the spray.
That's
guy.
actually going to be our handshake. It's just dropping hand sanitizer.
Just spraying hand sanitizer. All right, got to get to a break. When we get back, continuing the conversation about the Kings and how far could the Kings team last night go. If we can see that team more often, how far can that team go? Stiles Watkins, Sactown Sports.
What's the latest with the San Francisco 49ers? Carmichael, Dave, and Jason Ross keep you up to date on all things red and gold during the Niners at 9 every weekday at 9 a.m. on Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael, Dave, asking you, are you feeling the pain of paying more and more for your gas? PG&E has increased their rates 4 times in the last 5 years, and the new forecast says PG&E customers may see their bills increase 32% by 2026. The good thing is there are steps you can take to protect yourself from these rate hikes, and better yet, American Energy may be able to help you completely eliminate your gas bill with a new ultra high efficiency comfort system. Did you know SMUD offers huge rebates to eliminate your old gas guzzler? They can help you guide through the whole process. Seriously, listen to me. You go to the SMUD website. There's tons of rebates available, but it is confusing on how to do it. Listen to these rebates. $2,500 from American Energy, $3,500 from SMUD, $1,000 from Caltech, $2,000 home system upgrades. That's $9,000 in rebates. Let American Energy help you out at 916-520-9990.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Progressive presents Precious Moments.
Nothing beats driving cross-country in our RV.
This is so much fun, Dad. I don't even need to look at my phone.
It's not the destination, it's the journey. Jinx!
The exchange you just heard didn't actually happen, but it could. Bundle your home and other vehicles with Progressive and you could use the savings to make sure that RV is always ready to hit the road. Who knows, your teenager might actually put down her phone for 5 minutes. It could happen. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Timmy, everybody. Great job. Next up, we have Samantha.
10 times better performance can make a big difference. Castrol Edge Motor Oil gives your engine 10 times better high temperature performance. Castrol Edge, better oil for maximum performance. Now through March 4th, get 5 quarts of Castrol Edge or Edge High Mileage Full Synthetic and an oil filter for $36.99, only at AutoZone.
Claim based on Sequence 3 H test versus API SP test limits.
Whether you prefer thrills or serenity, the 2024 Accord from Elk Grove Honda delivers both. With Honda Sensing Standard, the 2024 Accord is once again a winner of the 2024 Car and Driver's 10 Best Cars, making Honda the winningest brand in car and driver award history. Drive a 2024 Accord Hybrid and see for yourself what the fuss is all about. We're Elk Grove Honda in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
Bonneville International Radio Station contests are open to participants at least 18 years of age and older that are residents of California and who reside in one of the 6 counties that make up the Sacramento metro area, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win, unless the station otherwise specifies in its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 30 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. For a copy of the general contest rules, visit khtk.com.
I like daffodils, tulips, the big dinner plate dahlias. I loved being in the garden, but I wasn't going to be able to because I couldn't not only walk, but I couldn't really stand on my foot without being in pain. It was excruciating. So my husband said, let's go to the Good Feet store.
For over 20 years, we've helped people like Terry live the life they love without letting their feet get in the way.
This nice young man said, I think I can help you. He got the arch support and I was fitted. And I kept walking back and forth across the store. And I looked at my husband and burst into tears because it was the first time in a year that I have not had any pain in my foot. I have had no pain since the day I bought them. Now I can do whatever I want. There isn't any place on my property that doesn't have flowers blooming 365 days a year. I still can't believe it. My name is Terry, and that's my Good Feet story.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
For sore feet, aching back, knee, or hip pain, come to the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, or Vacaville.
Hey, it's Doug Christie here for Folsom Lake Ford. During the President's Day Sell-a-thon, get 0 down deals on approval of credit, huge discounts, and top dollar for all trades. Shop your truck headquarters at folsomlakeford.com.
At Ashton & Price, over the last 25 years, we've won just about every injury case you can think of. Slip and fall, falling merchandise, fell through rotted decking, we won those. Dangerous stairs, falls into holes, dog bites, won them. Injured while pedestrian or on a bicycle, auto, motorcycle, big rig, company vehicle, Uber, or Lyft accident, we've won them all. And the best news is there's no fee until you win. So no matter how you got injured,
remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Maida Chevy has 2.9% APR financing on every new 2024 half-ton Silverado in stock. 2.9 for 72 plus great Maida Chevy savings on new Silverado. Online at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's try.
Finance with finance with GM. KHTKAM Sacramento. KYMX HD2 Sacramento.
Take it on the local level. Live and local, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios. Sactown Sports.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sactown Sports.
As the Kings get the vibes right, thanks to Mason Jones, the Niners are attempting to get the vibes right as they move on from Steve Wilks. He's in the booth. Get him out the booth. He's on the sideline. He's zero blitzing. He's doing too much blitzing. Calling timeouts during the Super Bowl. Kyle Shanahan doesn't like what he sees. And now he's moving on. And the more we hear about this thing, their top 5 defense, the more we hear about it, the more we learn, not that we didn't already know, but, I've heard people say, that Vikings game, it It was just bad, man. And to me,
that was just me, right? That said that.
No. I'm getting people reaching out. So I asked the question, and I'm getting a lot of responses here. I'm getting a lot of responses to the question I asked. I said, so everyone's saying if you don't get the Wilks firing, you didn't watch the Niners this season. Are you saying that the Niners having a top 5 defense is in spite of Wilks, or that having a top 5 defense wasn't good enough? Because I just want people to stop acting like it was a disaster. What I'm confused about is when it's an effort. Again, going back to culture fit, the fact that we're talking about effort, is it effort or scheme? Because for the Lions game to look the way it looked, and then for the Niners D-line to look the way they looked to start the Super Bowl, is that a scheme thing, or did it just require more effort from the Niners? That's what I've been confused about.
Yeah.
Because you can't, and if the effort wasn't there because they weren't feeling Wilks, that's fine. But let's not act like it was a defensive disaster. That's where I'm at with this. If it wasn't a good fit and it wasn't good enough, that's okay.
Right.
That's okay. But let's not act like it was a disaster.
Yeah.
Leland wants to have a conversation about Steve Wilks. Let's get to Leland and see what he has to say. What's up, Leland? You're on Stiles and Watkins.
Good morning, fellas. Watching you guys on YouTube today. Thanks.
Oh, appreciate that. Shout out to Sack Chat. What you got for us?
Hey, I respect that the Niners want to improve the organization, improve the coaching staff. It's the way it happened that doesn't set well with me.
Mm-hmm.
And it feels like they decided before the Super Bowl that they're going to get rid of Steve Wilks. Yeah, everybody hated that first half against the Lions. And I played D-line. It just broke my heart to see the effort that I saw, the men and the lack of pursuit of the runner. Everybody's been over that. I don't want to rehash that. But you know what? They got it straightened out for the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
They shut down Pacheco. They held the Chiefs to 19 points during regulation. I think the Niners defense was the best it's been in a long time. Certainly since that 5-game winning streak at the beginning of the season, when we thought, wow, this is terrific. So Shanahan and Lynch, they can look at the toolbox and say, oh, we need a new tool. This tool's got to go. Let's improve it. It's just the way they did it. They didn't tell him ahead of time. They didn't let Steve Wilks say, you know what, I'm going to move on. I'm going to look for another job. Now there's no positions. And I hope that they have to pay this man some money for shortchanging him right at the end. And one more thing, if you give me another moment, okay? I at first I thought that the Daryl Luter Jr. when he messed up the punt. Yeah, I thought that was all on him. That the moment was too big for him. But honestly, the moment was too big for Kyle Shanahan, and he's the one that's choking, and he's letting the team down.
No, thanks for the call, Leland. So the punt thing, I was talking to my buddy who was he went to the state championship in high school. They didn't win it, but they went. And
at Daylaw?
No, Palo Alto. Palo Alto High.
That holds some weight now.
No, well, Palo Alto High, they had, like I said, Jock and Devontae Adams, they were at Palo Alto High.
No shade.
So he said that could have been on Ray because as a punt returner,
got to yell Peter, right?
You got to yell Peter.
Got to make sure everyone hears it.
Right. So Ray either didn't yell it loud enough and then decides I'm a playmaker and says that out loud. I'm just going to try to pick this up. But my buddy also said, it's hard because when you pick up the football, the whole thing is about lanes, right? So yes. Ray was trying to make a play because at that point, because of the deflection, the lanes were all messed up. Right. So he could have been.
It's a busted play essentially at that point.
Yeah, it could have been historic, but you ate too much popcorn before the game and couldn't pick up the football, and now we're looking at it a different way. So I thought that was really interesting perspective from him. But yeah, back to Leland's point about Steve Wilks. I don't know if they could have let him go. The question is that I thought was really interesting with people saying, would they have moved on if they won? And I think they would have, but I think that if they would have, it would have been more like what Leland said. Yeah. It would have been more
ceremonious.
Yeah, sure. Let's say that we're parting ways or however we want to do it. Hey, Wilks, we don't want you to look bad.
Right.
Let's do it this way. Now, I'm pretty sure these contracts, you got to pay them out.
To look for new opportunity or something.
Yes, exactly. Now, I'm pretty sure all these dudes got to get cashed out. That's like the only time that they respect contracts when it comes to the coaches, not the players, right? So I'm pretty sure that money-wise, Wilks would be okay. But, yeah, Leland is right. There's nowhere else. Are there any open DC roles right now? There
not
can't
to my
be.
knowledge, but I'm not sure.
I don't think so. I don't think so. So yeah,
Is Seattle?
Don't know.
I don't know. I know they got their coach.
Yeah,
but
okay.
yeah.
That's
so
the only one I can think of.
So he's got to take a step back because he'd have to be a DB coach or something like that. So I think Leland makes a good point. Unfortunately, it's a cold world and they weren't able to get it done. But it's a confusing situation because there's the Super Bowl itself and then there's the season, right? So people that probably didn't watch every single Niners game like we did, they're talking about the Super Bowl and they're not necessarily wrong. Could he possibly be getting scapegoated for the Super Bowl? Both things can be true. He could be getting scapegoated for the Super Bowl, but it wasn't a great fit all season long.
Right.
I think
the Super Bowl was the straw that broke the camel's back.
But in a weird way, it wasn't because they actually played well in the Super Bowl.
Right.
Besides Kyle Shanahan not seeing a look.
Well, I think that look.
But
was
they
the
still,
moment.
but they still didn't stop them.
Yeah.
They still didn't stop. It was the fact that
I think he probably feels like you made me waste a timeout in a precious moment because something in Kyle's eyes, I'd imagine it's you did something so poorly that I had to halt the game, waste the timeout, and instead of just letting it ride, and we were in Vegas, they were in Vegas, just letting that thing ride with the risk. He said, "No, I have to stop this, or else this could be catastrophic to this game." I would guess that moment right there is where Kyle said, "I'm done. I'm done with it." Like, and emotions.
He doesn't want to have to deal
12.
with it. He doesn't want to have to deal with doing anything defensive.
That's what every great manager says, right?
Yes.
Is that what I want as a manager is to not have to micromanage.
Yes.
And I think in that moment, Kyle said, "This guy is forcing me to micromanage, and I don't want to do that."
Yes, from the 916. How about his personality didn't fit with the team? Pretty easy to figure out. They're not firing him if he's a perfect fit from the 916. That's where I'm at. It's a culture fit.
Yeah.
Right? When you apply to a new job, the pay might look good, and then you get into the office and you think, oh man, these guys, they party a lot and I'm not really like that, or they're all super outgoing and I'm not. And sometimes it's the company that says, you look great on paper. It's not that. It's just we don't think it's a good culture fit, or you tell them that. I think that's what that is.
Yeah.
Right? That's why I think it's a tough situation for Steve Wilks, because it's not about him as a coach. And of course, Kyle Shanahan says all the right things.
Right.
It wasn't a good culture fit. You tried to go away. They talked about going away from the tree, right? From what their scheme typically is.
Right.
And it didn't work out. And I don't think they necessarily gave him the tools. They didn't let Wilks bring in all of his guys. He couldn't run his scheme. They tried, for whatever reason, they wanted to fix the DB situation, which they did. And they decided, even though we fixed the DBs, we regressed with the run. We regressed in other areas. So it wasn't good enough for us to keep him, because basically we'd rather figure out the DB thing and go back to what we're more comfortable with versus making the DBs better and losing out on things that we're normally really good at.
Yeah.
But when you talk about rushing four, depends on the four. If my four is Chase Young, Hargrave, Bosa, if that's the four, right? And Armstead, if that's the four, that's a pretty darn good four. They're not bums. So you would think on paper, that's why you paid these dudes. So you don't have to bring extra pressure, but it didn't end up working out. Is that Wilks? Is that the scheme? Is that effort? Is that effort due to them not believing in Wilks? That's what it seems like. So I think Leland makes some good points. Some people on the text line aren't necessarily agreeing with him, but that's what's good about sports. We can all have different opinions. But ultimately, I think it was more of a culture fit versus this was a complete disaster.
Yeah.
The boot thing, him having to apologize. I think it was after the Vikings game, making him do apologies. It was just weird.
Yeah, no, I mean, I think to bring it back to just, something like I think it's just a work thing in general too. Like sometimes, especially when a place has been successful and they have a bit of turnover, they're like, hey, we don't want you, this new hire, to come in and bring in everything that you feel like you bring to the table. This is a winning formula that we have. Just fall in line. Just do what the person before you did and we'll be successful. And I think that's tough. That's a tough situation to walk into. Everybody feels like, I would love to put my imprint on this. I think that I can make some things better. But if you're being told that from the start, hey, it's great that you have ideas, but if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And I think that's just, I think from the start, it was going to be a natural, a natural push and pull, and it clearly just never smoothed out. And, it's, like you said, you highlighted everything from the booth questions to just everything that went on this season. It just never felt like things were going well for Steve Wilks and just his cohesiveness with the organization. Question is now, did they have somebody in mind? Do they have someone in mind? Or is it just literally anybody else would be better than Steve Wilks? Which I don't know which one. I guess I don't know if you're Steve Wilks. I don't know which one's worse. The fact that they might have already had somebody immediately in mind to replace you, or like I said, that they're just like, I don't care. We just want to open it up and see if anybody else would be a better fit.
It's the latter. It's the latter.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I mean,
if you had
sucks,
somebody, and if it's Vrabel or somebody like that, if you're Wilks, you can be like, all right,
I get it. If Bill Belichick is taking my job, okay.
I get it. But if it's just, we just try to find somebody, but it can't be any worse than this because that affects Steve Wilks' ability. I guess he just takes a year off
to get hired somewhere else.
Yeah. Well, he'll join a staff.
For sure. Someone will take him, but it's going to be a question asked of him of, so what went wrong?
And I'll sit there and say, I mean, look, there's things on paper, there's things off of paper. We had a top 5 defense, right?
Absolutely. So, his resume can't, I mean, at least for the year, he got what he needed out of it for his resume.
The scheme, and that's what's just so funny about the Niners, right? So this is what happens when you're the Niners, basically, is what I'm learning. You win the Super Bowl, or you play, or you play really well, and your dudes get poached. You lose the Super Bowl, and we're going to can you. That's it. Those are two options. We're never going to sustain any coordinators because we're either going to win and be successful, and you'll get poached, or we're going to fire you because you weren't good enough.
I will say, too, though, like, to the Niners organization's defense, we can't be on these airwaves every week saying it's Super Bowl or bust and then have them not accomplish that and then just have nothing done.
Yeah, no, that's
like
fair.
You got to do something,
that's
something
fair.
went wrong. And again, even if it is just saying Steve Wilks is the scapegoat, that's what it is. But I think where Leland, the caller, kind of took this thing, and I definitely agree, is the fashion in which they did it is just not great either. It's just a bad look.
Yeah, it does come off very scapegoaty, but all right, got to go. When we get back, continuing the conversation, Niners and Kings. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out SactownSports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, the Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on SactownSports.com.
God, I'm so stressed. It's a brand new year and our business is busier than ever.
Uma.
What is that? Meditation?
I'm recommending the Uma cloud phone system with auto attendant and more than 35 features.
Uma?
Yep. Switching to Uma is a cinch. Starts at $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees.
Uma.
Now you're feeling it. Visit Uma.com. That's OOMA.com to learn more. Uma. Smart communications for the smarter business.
If your Medi-Cal is ending, Cover California is here to help. Cover California is a service from the state that helps you get affordable health insurance. In many cases, at no cost to you, just like with Medi-Cal. We have quality health plans and will help you every step of the way to get the one that works for you and your family. So, if you're no longer eligible for Medi-Cal, check out Cover California. We'll keep you covered. Learn more at coveredca.com.
Sactown Sports.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
There is something to be said about getting out of a situation early, and that's sometimes it's what you have to do. They didn't see this thing working out with Steve Wilks, and it's better to just admit when something is wrong versus try to work it out. And if they think that there were foundational differences, they're just admitting. Look, to your point, Chris, the Niners have been very good and quick about when they make a mistake, they move forward. Trey Lance not working out, they got him up out of here. Steve Wilkes wasn't working out, they got him up out of here. They do not try to convince themselves, hey, well, maybe this or maybe that. They just say, we whiffed.
Cut your losses.
Yeah, we whiffed, cut your losses, and let's move forward. 1 o'clock, Live Nation has teamed up with Sactown Sports for your chance to see Daniel Tosh at Hard Rock Live April 12th. All you have to do is hit up the Folsom Lake Honda hotline at 1 o'clock. Chris is picking the caller today.
I'm thinking about it.
For more information, visit SactownSports.com. All guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. We will be joined by Brad, SF Niners. We spent a lot of time with Brad in Vegas, so we will catch up with Brad at 12 o'clock to get his thoughts on Steve Wilkes. Brad, and I'll give him his flowers when he gets on the air, but YouTube is going crazy. Yep. Instagram going crazy. He actually CC'd me with the Cam Newton thing because he talked to Cam Newton and the game and the game changer, game manager thing. So shout out to Brad. We'll have him on at 1 p.m. as we continue the conversation about the Niners. We'll have him on at 12 because at 1 p.m. we are doing the ticket giveaway for Daniel Tosh. But yeah, they just cut their losses, and that's just how it has to be sometimes.
Yeah, in a weird way, I respect it for sure. I mean, because I do think the situation where a lot of teams end up, I mean, you can look at the other San Francisco team, right? Golden State. I mean, they tried to make the Wiseman thing work. You could argue they cut those losses a little bit later. I mean, it was still pretty good timing, but you could Kuminga, Moody. I think that there's a lot of situations in which teams will just try and make it work for the sake of not looking foolish and trying to salvage even a little bit of pride. And, you got to give the Niners credit, because I do think if you feel like something isn't going your way and you feel like you have a way of doing things and things are not all being pulled in that direction, why wait around and let it, let the cancer possibly spread, cut that thing out and keep it pushing. And I think that is an example of why the 49ers are a really, really good organization for sure, because there's a lot of pride swallowing that goes along with just straight up firing a dude like that.
Yeah. From the 925, how many whiffs before it falls on the GM or head coach? Great question. I don't know, but
that's probably more on Shanahan than Lynch, right?
Yeah. The thing is, though, if your whiffs are still ending up in the NFC Championship and Super Bowls, then they're not going to get touched.
Never.
That's the whole thing about the Shanahan thing. Coaches don't get fired for not winning the big one because owners are still cashing out. Coaches get fired for regressing. If the Niners regress, then you'll have a conversation. I did a lot of research on Andy Reid, right? I'm trying to remember it off the top of my head, and I tweeted it as well. But essentially, Andy Reid went 4 years, I believe 4 or 5 years after losing his last NFC championship. He had 5 NFC championships throughout the course of 14 years. After he went to his last NFC championship, they gave him essentially 4 or 5 more years where he lost in the wild card twice, and then he didn't go to the playoffs. He went 8-8 one year, didn't go to the playoffs. Then his last year, he went 4-12. So there was a clear regression after 14 years. Then they moved forward. Kyle Shanahan's in year 7, or just finished year 7. He's been to more Super Bowls than Andy Reid. Andy Reid had only went to 1, and he's already been to 3 NFC championships. Andy Reid went to 5 in 14 years.
Right.
So what I'm saying is Kyle Shanahan's not going anywhere. He's not going anywhere.
I definitely think that, there's a good chance that I could see Kyle Shanahan. I mean, he's still a younger coach too. It could be I know Bill Belichick obviously has the Super Bowl rings and that's why he stayed, but I could see him, even if let's just live in the worst possible universe where the Niners don't win a Super Bowl in the next 5 or 6 years. I think he's done enough for that team, and he's still young enough to where I don't know why you would move on from him unless you are trying to plant a flag down that, no, we are going to do a hard rebuild. Until that happens, which, maybe injuries will dictate it. I don't know. And until they feel like they are going to do a hard reset, I can't see Kyle Shanahan leaving. And even then, I would think that maybe you would, just like the Patriots gave Bill Belichick a couple years for his rebuild, if you're going to rebuild from the ground up, Shanahan can probably lay a pretty good foundation. So even then, I can't see an end for it.
No, me neither. Dwayne Baker on the Sack Chat. Shanahan called the timeout, changed the coverage, and it didn't work. And that is on Wilkes, question mark. That is on Shanahan. Point. Dwayne also says they cut their losses everywhere except for the head coach. But Dwayne, that's what we're saying. They're going to Super Bowls every 4 years. They go to NFC Championship every other year. You're not going to find that anywhere else. Other fan bases would kill for something like that.
Let me tell you. They sure would.
All right. Before we get to a break, let's get to Steven, who wants to be a part of the conversation. Steven, what you got for us?
Good morning, boys.
Morning.
I feel like Kyle Shanahan is not going to make a defensive move, especially after being the runner-up to a Super Bowl. I don't think anybody in God's green earth, and I don't think anybody who has, any kind of sense. All right, because common sense ain't so common anymore, boys.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't think anybody would have any sense after being the runner-up to a Super Bowl and having the playoff success that Shanahan has had. If you don't have someone lined up for that defensive coordinator position upon letting him go, you let go of Steve Wilkes after being the runner-up to a Super Bowl, after going to the NFC Championship the prior year with Mr. Irrelevant. Okay, do you really think that he wouldn't have somebody lined up? I'm kind of with Dave on this one, man. I really think that in the next couple days, I'm assuming 100% they're gonna announce something. They're gonna drop Mike Vrabel or the other Belichick or something. You know what I'm saying? I don't think they're gonna get Bill. Mike Vrabel, he's a solid raw guy. Obviously, they say he's intimidating. But get that man in there, man. Get somebody that's gonna replace what Saleh and D'Amico Ryans had, because obviously after that post game presser that Shanahan had, those were the two names that he had mentioned specifically. He says it was kind of a it sucked to lose him and it sucked to lose the other guy, and now we have Steve Wilkes, and it seems like that is the type of environment that they're looking for. And you don't just fire a defensive coordinator like that. I mean, you do, but you don't just fire a defensive coordinator like that without having somebody else in the line. So
yeah, thanks for the call, Steven. We're up against it. Yeah, I think that I agree with Dave. I think they have somebody waiting. I don't know who that person is, but yeah, there are two options here. Either they do or they don't. But this late in the game, when there are a lot of openings from the bad teams that have already been filled, they probably have at least two guys in mind, and they are working out who it's going to be based on who accepts it, who wants what, and they go from there. I do not think that this is just a random thing and they have nobody waiting. All right, got to get to a break. When we get back to Kings talk, how far can they go if they play like last night? Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Our first year as the radio home of the San Francisco 49ers is one we will never forget.
Going deep down the sideline for Ayu. He's got it, and he's gone. 10, 5, touchdown! San Francisco! Ayu is on fire!
Congratulations to the 49ers on a terrific year. And thank you for so many wonderful memories.
For the ones who get it done, the most important part is the one you need now. And the best partner is the one who can deliver. That's why millions of maintenance and repair pros trust Grainger, because we have professional-grade supplies for every industry, even hard-to-find products. And we have same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders. But most importantly, we have an unwavering commitment to help keep you up and running. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If you're looking to get a new car, you could really cut expenses by bundling your car and renter's insurance with Progressive. Sure, you love your old car, but you know it's not normal to give instructions on how to open the window. It should be self-explanatory, but it's not. And notice how when you're in other people's cars, you can feel cushion in the seats? That's pretty nice, right? No, it's just normal. So bundle your renters and car insurance with Progressive and put the savings toward a new car. It's time. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company coverage provided and serviced by affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states.
Play and win with rewards that soar at Sky River Casino in Elk Grove. Sign up for Sky River Rewards and you'll get $20 free play to use on your first visit. Plus, you'll be the first to know about upcoming special events and offers. Visit skyriver.com today. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
It's Carmichael Day with a Fire Wings announcement. The Floor and Road location now serves pizza, and oh my goodness, it's so good. Don't forget the Wings Day Wednesday lineup, 88-cent wings every Wednesday. You got 21 delicious flavors to choose from in the perfect fast casual eating establishment for the entire family. Save time and order online. Go to firewings.com or download the app. Find a location near you, order online, and earn rewards. Fire Wings, just wing it.
Welcome to the President's Day sale, happening now at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Celebrate with us and get huge savings on our giant selection. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. Plus, get top dollar for your trade.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. Stockton Honda.com.
Based on 2023 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company, Zone Report.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emron Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sactown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
Want the best movie experience in town? Join Sactown Sports IMAX Pass by visiting SactownSports.com. Sign up today. You can win tickets to see this week's films at the Esquire IMAX Theater.
Guys, want to lose weight, improve your performance, and increase your drive? Book your free T-check and free exam at Revive Men's Health Sacramento. Now also offering affordable, cutting-edge weight loss medications. Call 916-277-8599 or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Country in the Park is back May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Jake Owen, Walker Hayes, and more. Tickets start at just $46. Country in the Park May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPFest.com. Brought to you by Coors Light, Garner Roofing, and Roseville Kitchen and Bath.
Hey, it's Doug Christie here for Folsom Lake Ford. During the President's Day Sell-a-thon, get 0 down deals on approval of credit, huge discounts, and top dollar for all trades. Shop your truck headquarters at FolsomLakeFord.com.
In the hands of Trey Lyles. He gives it up. Here's Malik Monk running on the far side, or Fox, I should say. Fox goes glass. He scores, and the Kings are right on the doorstep. Timeout taken by Michael Malone in Denver. It's 80-79 with 8:20 to go.
Will the real, and I feel like we've done this before, will the real Sacramento Kings please stand up? Who are you?
Yeah.
Honestly, though, you did say that the game before they played well. They just couldn't get it done. So it's not like they played like trash and then played well yesterday. They have been playing a good brand of basketball. It just wasn't enough a couple nights ago and was enough last night. So you should feel optimistic if you are a Kings fan. If they play like this, if they play like what they did last night and to a lesser degree on Tuesday against the Suns, should I feel more confident that they can get past the first round?
I think the thing that I've kind of started to wrap my brain around, and shout out Brendan, it's been a lot of conversations with Brendan about it, is just kind of, in the playoffs, it's a bit of a different beast. And, in the playoffs, obviously, you're only playing good teams. You're not going to be playing Detroit's. You're not going to be playing, the Torontos, the Atlantas, you guys get it. And so I think that it's really, really positive that this team has tangible victories against good teams because, in the playoffs, effort's not going to be an issue. Every single game, they're going to give 100%. There is no nights off in the playoffs. And so I think through an 82 game season, it's tough to be consistent for 82 nights. So I'm going to start to focus more on how they look against top competition and what kind of things are they throwing out there against that competition to try and replicate playoff situations. So I'm just kind of more focusing now on these guys. Effort. If the question of the game is effort, just throw it out. You just have to throw it out because those things are not going to help you try and determine the ceiling of this team. The ceiling of this team is determined by games against Denver, games against OKC, games against the Clippers, the Celtics, like the top tier teams in the NBA. Do the Kings just look flat out outmatched against those teams is what really matters.
Well, but I will say that I get what you're saying for the playoffs, right? But I do think that it has to be against the Hornets. It has to be against these other teams because I don't care how good the effort is if you're in the play-in. I just don't feel confident. So you do have to I hear what you're saying, but you have to take care of business. What they did last night is great. What they did against the Suns, they came to play, but the effort it doesn't matter for the playoffs, but it does matter now because it could put you in a bad situation for the playoffs.
Sure. I think I just don't know how good of a, like, if the Kings give those efforts in those, 4 or 5 games and they flip, I don't know. Like you're talking about maybe a position or two. And I just think at the end of the day in the playoffs for your ceiling, you're going to have to play good teams. Again, every single round, you're going to be playing a good team. So, I feel like at the end of the day, if you can match up with the good opponents, to me I understand your confidence meter and all that kind of thing. But I ultimately just feel like at the end of the day, it sucks, but I just don't think it matters in the long run. Like I think you're going to have to beat the Lakers anyway. It shouldn't matter if you're a 2 seed or a 7 seed. You're going to have to beat the Nuggets. You're going to have to beat those teams anyway. So, at the end of the day, positioning is nice for home court advantage, but honestly, the Kings haven't been they've been a lot better this year than they were last year at home, but it's not like they were last year's Warriors at home anyway. So, I hear you though. And I'm not trying to, I shouldn't say it doesn't matter at all, because it definitely does matter. But in terms of just effort being a big reason why they've lost a couple of those games, that ultimately, I guess it shouldn't hurt my perception of this team as much as it has.
Right. And as we talk about how these guys haven't really sat and Sabonis hasn't stopped playing, that extra game when you have to go to the play-in, depending on where you are right now, they're in the 8th seed, so they'd have to go to Dallas, right? Yep. They'd have to go to Dallas and win. That's Luka, and that's not a good team. Not that there are good teams. Like you said, everyone's good, but that's a Luka and a Kyrie and a 1-game sample. I'd prefer not to do that, right?
I don't mind Dallas. Dallas doesn't scare me.
Right. I'm just deathly afraid of the play-in, period.
Sure, yeah,
right?
Everybody should be.
So if you look, the Pelicans have 22 losses. The Suns have 22 losses. That's the 5th and 6th seed. And the Mavericks, the Kings, both have 23. We just need one of these teams is going to fall off.
Yeah,
it's just, who is going to get to that 6th seed? Because one of these teams are going to fall off. I know it.
Yeah, absolutely. There's no way.
Hopefully it's not the Kings that falls off.
I don't think so.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't think so. I think the Pelicans are probably my team that I would bet to fall off. They fell off last year. They've been very healthy this year, strangely. It's just, whether it be Zion or Brandon Ingram or even CJ McCollum, I just can't see that team staying healthy. Phoenix, too. Bradley Beal, we saw 5 minutes of Bradley Beal the other night before he got injured, and he already had a face mask on, and apparently he already had a busted ankle, and then he hurts his knee, and it's like, okay, this thing is just, it's going to be tough for this guy to play 7 games in 1 round. Forget about getting through 2 or 3 rounds or maybe even 4 rounds. So I don't necessarily believe in Phoenix either with how much they've kind of relied on Book and KD. I feel like the Kings are in a fine spot. I think with how well they ended the break, I think the guys understand that it's all on them. There's no help coming, and a lot of bets in terms of internally. Monty McNair has bet on this roster. I think they're going to feel that, and I think that they're going to give a really, really good push. And they have experience doing this last year too. As nice as that is to say now, is that the Kings have experience doing exactly this last year. And it's a little bit crazy to try and replicate 15-5, but I do think that they're going to come out with a different level of energy in the second half or the second sprint.
They are 6-4 against the top 4 teams in the West, 1-1 against the Timberwolves, 2-1 against the Thunder, 0-2 against the Clippers, 3-0 against the Nuggets. That's not bad at all.
No. And then, you can throw the Lakers in there. I think they're undefeated against the Lakers. The Warriors, I believe they're now at a season split with. Dallas, they have a good record with. It's really, it's New Orleans, it's the Clippers, and it's the Rockets, who we haven't seen since those 2 games. Those are really the teams that have just absolutely been cannot have it matchups with the Kings. I think we all know the Pelicans is definitely the big one, but the Clippers too. I feel like the Clippers are probably going to end up more up towards the top of the Western Conference, which is another reason why the Kings desperately need to stay out of the play-in. But really, I feel pretty good about the Kings at least having a shot in most of those playoff series.
Yeah.
Not all of them.
Right. And, each year
things change too.
Yeah. Each year is different. And we know that the Kings were able to be a 3 seed last season with a record that isn't typically a 3 seed record. Right. And you're seeing it come back to reality this season. And it's a mess as usual. And I think it's a very confusing year, right? And a very confusing season, because if you asked Kings fans, how do you feel like the Kings have done? You would feel, man, I think they've done pretty well. And the fact that they're currently in the play-in, it just goes to show how ridiculous this season has been.
Yeah. Everyone's been healthy. Everyone's played well. It's it's a real flex on the Western Conference to show how good they are, because even like I was watching who was it? Orlando was playing somebody yesterday, and I was just like, this Orlando team really isn't that good. And I know they've fallen in the standing since. I think they're a 7 seed, but just the fact that
they beat the Knicks yesterday.
The Knicks, that's what it was. It was the Knicks. And the Knicks are great too. The Knicks did not look good at all yesterday. But I was just thinking, if the Orlando Magic are the 8 seed in the East right now, and the Kings are the 8 seed in the West, just how different it feels. Looking at Orlando, they have Paolo, they have Franz. They were starting Anthony Black, their rookie yesterday, Caleb Houston, who was like a 2nd-round pick. It's just the difference in talent in the 2 conferences is just head and shoulders different. And it again upset me that Continental Drift, man, the Pangea or whatever it is, it really screwed up the Sacramento Kings, man. Why couldn't somehow Sacramento have ended up on the East Coast?
Yeah. It's and the Knicks have been playing good ball, but even though the records are similar, you got to think they're playing more Eastern Conference teams. So there's really no way to measure it until you play those teams. And the Magic have played the Kings tough, and they've been going. They're young, right? And the Knicks are trying to figure their thing out. We know who the cream. We think we know who the cream of the crop is in the East, but in the West, it's a real mess, and it's going to be a fight till the end for the Kings if they want to get this done. All right, got to get to a break. When we get back, Chris Duarte enters the chat. Haven't heard from him in a while, and he has some things to say and do last night against the Nuggets. Stiles Watkins, Sactown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sactown Sports and the Sactown Sports app.
Toyota's President's Day sales event ends Monday. Now is your chance to experience legendary Toyota reliability on cars, trucks, and SUVs. Save big with these President's Day deals. Right now, get $1,000 bonus cash when you lease a 2024 Camry. Or when you finance with Toyota, get $1,000 bonus cash on the all-new 2024 Grand Highlander gas model. Hurry in. Toyota's President's Day sales event ends Monday. Toyota. Let's go places. Offer available through TFS to buyers with premium rated credits. Lease hybrid since 3424.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BC. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Welcome to a brand new year filled with limitless possibilities at Kia of Vacaville. Prepare yourself for an extraordinary driving adventure as we present our impressive 2024 vehicle lineup. Step into the future with state-of-the-art technology, groundbreaking features, and the sleek design that has become synonymous with Kia. Immerse yourself in the dynamic performance of the all-new Kia Sportage, where captivating design meets exhilarating power. Experience the fuel efficiency of the Kia Niro, a hybrid marvel that extends your journey with every mile. Indulge in the sophistication of the Kia Telluride, seamlessly blending luxury and versatility. Don't overlook our eco-friendly Kia hybrid options, ideal for those who prioritize efficiency without sacrificing style. If you're in search of the EV9, Kia of Vacaville has it in stock or available for delivery. Visit Kia of Vacaville today and cruise into 2024 with confidence and style. Kia of Vacaville, where innovation meets the road. Elevate your drive, elevate your year. Model availability and features may vary. Please see the dealership for details.
3 little words no parent wants to hear. My tummy hurts. And it always seems to happen at the worst times. Like in the middle of the morning rush, when you still have homework to check and lunches to pack, and of course, you're already late for work. Luckily, there's Pepto Kids. Pepto Kids gummies help relieve occasional stomach upsets, turning those 3 words into these 3 words. I feel better. Bad time for stomach upsets? Good time for Pepto Kids gummies. Fast support for little tummies.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Shop can't miss deals on appliances this President's Day at Lowe's. Right now, get up to 35% off select major appliances. Plus, save an extra $75 on every $750 you spend on all major appliances, like LG, America's most reliable line of home appliances. Shop in-store or online for more deals you can't beat. Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 2/28. Savings vary based on purchase amount. Exclusions apply. See Lowe's.com for more details.
Plantar fasciitis feels like pointed, sharp pain, very intense, can make your eyes water. It makes you walk funny because you're trying to get pressure off your heel. I had instability. I was so frustrated. I didn't know what to do. And I was driving past the Good Feet store. I mean, why not? Give it a try.
For over 20 years, we've been helping people like Teresa actually live the life they love without their feet getting in the way.
They wanted to make sure they fitted me with the right thing. And so they brought out several different arch supports and gave me the opportunity to try them in shoes and walk around with them until they found the perfect ones for my feet. I had no idea that they would be that patient, and I had no idea they would be that kind. And you just knew, like, your feet, just when they got on the right ones, they were like, oh yeah. And it really did make a big difference. It made my foot not hurt. I'm Teresa, and that's my Good Feet story.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
When the unexpected happens, trust AutoAccident.com. Loyalty and compassion set them apart. They're with you every step of the way. AutoAccident.com. That's AutoAccident.com.
On the left wing, finds Chris Duarte, comes off the curl. He's open. He launches. He scores the three-pointer. Chris Duarte has the Sacramento bench up, waving towels and active. Ties it at 85.
Chris Duarte has found himself back in the rotation, and he made it happen. You know, he got in, took advantage of his situation, and gets the DPOG crown for his fourth quarter minutes. Chris, were you surprised when you saw him hop in? Like I said, I was cooking as well, and I was double checking, did somebody get injured?
Yeah.
What happened here? And he just got an opportunity.
Yeah, no, I had no idea what it was about. You know, Mike Brown has talked about just kind of keeping guys on their toes and you know, always making sure guys are available. He also later in we played some sound of Mike Brown talking about guys banged up. He did mention Duarte as well as somebody who's been banged up throughout this year. So maybe something that we haven't heard about. But yeah, it was really surprising to see him go to him. I really don't know why. Like, I don't know what Mike Brown's logic or thought process was. I don't know if he felt like they just needed an uptick in defensive intensity, if he felt like they needed another shooter out there or what it was, but it was the right button to press because Duarte came in, has looked like how he's looked really a lot of the season defensively, where he's just in the dude's grill, like hounding him, possibly a little bit too handsy, but I think in that moment, it definitely worked out, played some great defense, got a big offensive rebound or a tap out on an offensive rebound that ended up being a turnover, but was still really good effort. Hit a huge three.
Yes, he did.
To tie it up at 85, where I don't know about you, but I did not believe that shot was going in even for a second. He got Michael Porter Jr. to fly off on a closeout and then kind of set himself up, let it fly, and just nailed it. He also did error 3 pretty bad a couple moments later on potential foul.
He checked.
Yeah, sure. It was a great moment. I just think it was a really good moment for him. I thought it was cool of Mike Brown to give him the defensive player of the game crown, because that's like, again, a character win. That's something, again, Mike Brown can say, hey, man, remember when I went to Chris? He hadn't played. I think Katie said on the broadcast he'd played 6 minutes in the past 15 games. I just went to Duarte in that fourth quarter, and that's the definition of stay ready so you don't have to get ready. And he gave him good minutes, and it's an example to everyone. Sasha Vezenkov, man, like, I know Sasha's going to be hurt, but like somebody who's in his kind of situation where it's like, hey, just because you're not getting minutes doesn't mean I'm not thinking about you, doesn't mean I'm not trying to get you in, doesn't mean you won't be checked in. So just stay ready, and I promise you the opportunity will come. And I think it's really big for everybody on the team to see something like that. And that's the kind of thing that brings a team closer together, because, you know, if anybody does complain, it's on a leader to say, man, what are you talking about? Like, remember what Duarte did. Like, that can be you. You just got to be ready for your opportunity. And I thought it was just a really cool moment, frankly, in a season that hasn't had many like key moments like that. Like last year, there's, you know, De'Aaron's game winners we can think about. There's Kevin Huerter setting Golden One Center ablaze, breaking the mics and all that stuff. We really haven't had much fun this season. Hasn't had a lot of fun moments. And I don't know if, you know, Duarte entering the game is going to be something we're going to talk about during the offseason, but I think it was a moment for sure for this team, even if it was just for the day.
Yeah, and I'm not really worried about, you know, everybody saying, well, what about the rotation? And I think there are some holes, but if you look at it, you know, a lot of these guys, deep you get into the playoffs, their rotations aren't going more than 9.
No,
really, more like 8.
Yeah, they're going 8. They're
more
going
like
8.
8. So if you
Some
look right
7.
here, you have the starters, okay, obviously. And then after that, you got Trey Lyles, that's 6.
Yep.
Monk, that's 7. And then maybe you rock and roll with that, or maybe you find one more guy if it's Alex Len or if it's JaVale, some version of the 8. So honestly, this idea that the Kings don't have a solidified rotation, it's not really true, because things are just going to get boiled down so much in the playoffs. You're just not going to see a lot of players, period.
I think you might. I think you're going to see a good bit of, like, we saw Davion in the playoffs last year guarding Steph. I think you're probably going to see matchup dependent Davion. I mean, Keon Ellis, I would assume they gave him a contract for a reason. I think we're going to see a good bit of Keon. It wouldn't surprise me if we see Duarte either. I just think,
I think that's that 8 slot though. It's just going to be whoever Mike. Now, I guess what I'm saying is, I don't think you need that 8 slot solidified. I think it can be fluid, and that's what it is right now.
I think you do. I think you need to know your rotation. You have to know your guys going into the playoffs. I think that's like, yeah, you just have to know what you're going to do going into every game, especially in the postseason. I think that's what the rest of this season is going to be about, is trying to figure out. I would imagine it's probably going to be 9 guys. Ideally, Mike Brown would like to go with, and then probably cut it down to 8. But I think the rest of this season is going to be Davion versus Keon. All right, who's going to win those 10 minutes at backup point guard? Can we get Duarte involved? Can we get Alex Len or JaVale? I mean, I hope Alex Len can lock down a spot, but can we rely on Alex Len every single matchup? He won't have to get taken out after game 3 and then never seen again. I think that's what the rest of this season from Mike Brown is going to be about, is about how do we get this team as ready for the playoffs as possible with those rotational minutes? And, who knows? Maybe even our guy Mason Jones. It wouldn't surprise me if he enters the chat as well. I watched him in that Stockton game, and I really think he could be a steadying presence offensively for this team. And a dude who, you look at his G League numbers, you look at his NBA numbers, he can shoot the ball. So it would not surprise me if we see some Mason Jones thrown in there too.
I just don't know that the way Coach Mike Brown has handled the rotation this first, I know De'Aaron Fox says stop saying half of the season because it's not halfway through. It really bothers him. But it's just easier to say De'Aaron. Yeah. I'm sorry.
Last third. There we go. Is that better?
The pre-All-Star break, the way that Coach Mike Brown has handled the rotation, I just don't believe he's got to handle it differently, because I don't believe he can handle it the way he handled it prior to the All-Star break. And to your point, I just don't think he's going to get an answer based on the way he's been handling it. I think if he wants to get an answer, he's got to give guys a certain amount of game. You just can't randomly. So Chris Duarte plays a great 8 minutes the game before the All-Star break. So a week, okay, is going to go by, and then we're going to come back, and is he going to play? I mean, I don't know. He doesn't really.
I mean, you got to throw him out there.
Do you? I don't know, right?
You definitely need to. Yeah. I mean, you got to get an answer. I mean, you're heading towards the playoffs. What's important is that you're peaking, you're getting acclimated at the right time.
I just don't know if out of Duarte, Keon, and Davion, I don't know if any of them are going to do something. The reason I don't think that you'll get an answer is because I don't think that any of them have the facilities, Big Man, to show up and make it clear, right? Like, I think if someone was going to make it clear, it would have already happened. They've all had ample opportunities. So regardless of how Mike Brown decides to move forward with the rotation, I just don't know what somebody would do. They are who they are.
Yeah, but I mean, Duarte's been a guy who has hit shots in the past. And in the same way that we said, like, we hope Kevin Huerter gets hot at some point. It's the same with Chris Duarte. Like, if Chris Duarte starts to get on a heater, he's had no confidence all year. He has not been able to hit shots. If this can be the start of him gaining some confidence with this team, feeling like he belongs, and then, yeah, it doesn't have to be he's shooting 45%. It's just like, can he get to be a 38% shooter and play the defense that he played all year? Like, that'll get him TD. Like, those TD minutes are still kind of open for this year. Davion was a part of the playoff rotation last season. I think that De'Aaron's got to get a break some point. I don't think we've seen them run Malik Monk at the backup point guard, but they've gone away from that completely. I think they have to have some form of a backup point guard, and that's going to be to Keon and Davion to try and lock down.
But I think you're still operating off of who gets hot. That's my point.
But I think the hope is that it's not about getting hot; it's about getting comfortable.
Yeah.
Into the rotation. It's about. I mean, yes, initially you get hot, but I think it's about, okay, now I feel solidified in the rotation. How do I establish a role? Or, I mean, each series is probably going to dictate their own roles, but I just think it's about getting in the rotation and getting consistent. It's a 28-game sprint. It's not like you're asking for a ton of consistency. You're just asking, can you do what we need you to do? And you don't have to be spectacular, but just go out there and give us good minutes, because at the end of the day, especially in the playoffs with guys like Keon, with guys like Davion, we're just asking for a 5-minute stint of just don't lose us the game while De'Aaron's not out there.
Because to me, Davion has actually, I have to look at the splits, but it feels like Davion has been shooting the 3-ball better.
A lot better.
But that's what I'm saying, though. So,
and he's back in the rotation.
He's back in the rotation. But now, as we come to All-Star break, if I just have no clue how long Mike Brown is going to ride with somebody. If Davion goes cold, like you said, there's not a lot of time.
But he's experimenting. Like, he's got 82 games to figure out this current team. And he's going to use all 82 to figure out, who do I trust in the playoffs?
Yeah.
It's all about trust. It's all about gaining trust, because, weird things happen in the playoffs. People will be cold all season long and then all of a sudden go on the biggest heater of their life. Like, it's just about who Mike Brown trusts to be out there with the season on the line.
Yeah. All right. Got to get to a break. When we get back, we are joined by Brad from SF Niners. He is going to give his thoughts on Steve Wilkes and the 49ers parting ways, also the future of the Niners. Then we'll get back into some Kings talk. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Last season, the Sacramento Kings gave us a little bit of everything. A Pacific Division title, GM of the Year, Coach of the Year, Clutch Player of the Year, All-Stars and All-NBA performers. Plus, we got to light the beam.
Here's a steal by Fox, the breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
What does this season have in store? Find out. Each and every Sacramento Kings game can be heard right here on your proud home of the Beam Team, Sactown Sports and SactownSports.com.
When you need auto parts, O'ReillyAuto.com is just a click away. Order online and pick up at your local store. Visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Get ready for an exciting drive in the 2024 Kia Forte GT line, now at Elk Grove Kia for just $19,988. Experience efficiency with an impressive 39 mpg, smooth rides with automatic transmission, and stay on track with a lane departure warning system for only $19,988. Enjoy modern conveniences with its huge 10.25-inch touchscreen with navigation and a rear camera, Bluetooth wireless technology, and the ease of push-button start for only $19,988. Or lease this incredible ride with no cash out of pocket for only $279 per month plus tax. You heard right. No money down and only $279 plus tax. Elk Grove Kia, where driving dreams come true. Visit us today in the Elk Grove Auto Mall or online at elkgrovekia.com. Sale price $20,738. Dealer choice rebate $750. Net price $19,988. With finance through Kia Finance 5 at this price. 24 monthly zero cash down. Residual of $63,950 based at 10K per year. 20 cents a mile over zero security deposit. Kia Tier 1 approval required. Expires 2/15/2024.
Elk Grove Kia.
Hi, this is Scott Trout of Cordell & Cordell. There are a lot of great dads out there. Sometimes those dads get divorced. For more than 30 years, we've represented men in divorce, confronting the pitfalls that could devastate your finances or harm your family relationships. While every situation is different, our goal is to get the best outcome for you and your kids. Visit CordellCordell.com to take the first step.
500 Capitol Mall, Suite 2060, Sacramento, California, 95814. Online at CordellCordell.com.
This year, Dell Technologies wants to help you do amazing things with their best tech. For a limited time only, save on select next-gen PCs like the XPS 13 Plus, powered by Intel Core processors, and more. Plus, curate your dream setup with great deals on select monitors, mice, and more must-have electronics and accessories. When you shop online at Dell.com/deals, you'll have access to leading-edge technology to match your forward-thinking spirit and free shipping on everything. Again, that's Dell.com/deals.
Folsom Lake Ford has trucks. The F-150s are here. Explorers, Expeditions, and a huge selection of Broncos and Bronco Sports. They're in stock now at Folsom Lake Ford. Shop Folsom Lake Ford, your truck headquarters, right here in Sacramento for your favorite Ford models at good, fair prices. Short on cash? Buy any new Ford with zero down. Save big with low interest finance rates. Plus, Folsom Lake Ford is paying top dollar for all trades. We want your vehicle regardless of mileage or condition. This could be the best time to buy a new Ford. Check out the huge inventory online at FolsomLakeFord.com or stop by the dealership and see the most recent arrivals. Looking for something special? Give them a call and tell them Doug Christie sent you. Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall. Your trusted dealer, my trusted dealer for over 30 years. FolsomLakeFord.com.
Zero down with approved credit. KHTKAM Sacramento, KYMX HD2 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, your flagship station for the Beam Team.
Should we light the beam? Light the beam, baby.
Sactown Sports. Sactown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
We are 1 hour away from giving away Daniel Tosh tickets. Live Nation has teamed up with Sactown Sports for your chance to see Daniel Tosh at Hard Rock Live April 12th all you have to do is hit up the Folsom Lake Honda hotline at 1 p.m. and Chris Watkins will pick the caller that we're looking for to win those tickets. For more information, visit SactownSports.com. That's in an hour. But now we are joined by our guy, Brad, from SF Niners. Brad, I just got to say before we get into any of these questions, I don't know if anybody was working harder. I mean, we had people coming to us, right, which was pretty cool. I can't lie. But I saw this man hustling. Everybody, I know we see you on the YouTube. Everybody that was following Brad, let me just tell you, this man put in the work. He's walking around with his camera everywhere. He was doing his thing. Then he was getting on buses to go do the media availability with the players. Brad, you really did it. I just want to give you kudos. I know that content came out outstanding. So I just want to give a shout out to you and thank you for being on the show.
I'd like
man,
to say it was to meet you in person.
I appreciate you guys being able to link with you guys, seeing you guys on Radio Row, all that good stuff, man. It was quite the ride. I mean, I'm still recovering from those 8 days in Vegas, man, on top of the Super Bowl loss. So it's been a whirlwind, but man, yeah, I saw you guys grinded too. It was great.
That's what it's all about. And the last one that we saw was when Patrick Willis was with NBC Sports Bay Area, and we were wrapping up for the day. And Brad is just, kind of hanging out next to us. And Brad, we're watching this whole thing happen. And Brad says, I think I'm going to get him after he's done with NBC Sports. And we're all invested at this point. Watching, not that he would say no, but we're just, all right, let's see it happen. And Brad goes in for it. He very sly.
It's like when your boy's like at a school dance or something. He's like going to go ask the girl. And it's like, come on, man. Like, I hope she gets it.
And Brad, Brad got it done. Next thing you know, you got that hit with Patrick Willis right after being named to the Hall of Fame. So that was outstanding. Great job, Brad. All right.
That's
let's go. Let's go to, I guess, the game and your initial thoughts on it, where things went wrong. Brad, I've been seeing a lot, and I want to get your thoughts on this as well. Have you seen this luck metric going around? Have you seen the luck metric? And there's a luck metric going around saying that the Niners were literally the most unlucky team since 2018, and there are numbers to back this based on lost fumbles and things like that. So, and this is from Data with Bliss, data-driven measure of luck, right? So in 2023, since 2018, there have been 80 teams, right? 80 playoff teams. 2023 Chiefs were the number one luckiest team based on these metrics. The 2023 49ers were number 69, including the fluke to Ayuk off the Heezy helmet catch against the Lions. So I don't know what you thought went wrong, but yeah, it was a rough time for Niners fans. And it did feel like a lot of breaks didn't go their way, but there were some areas where they could have been more prepared.
Yeah, I haven't heard that metric, so that's really interesting. And, from the outside looking in, it does feel like they have been a little bit unlucky. And we know to get to that stage, luck is involved a little bit. You can prepare, you can plan, you can execute, but at the end of the day, the ball has to bounce your way on some occasions. And it feels like, the 49ers, it's been hit or miss in that regard. But to be honest, I'm looking at this game as more so, yes, there were missed holdings, there was missed penalties, there was those types of things. But in reality, these guys prepare week in, week out for these types of moments. And it felt like the 49ers had the opportunity in their hands. And if they did a couple things a little bit differently, executed a little bit more efficiently and effectively, they're walking away with the 6th ring. So yes, we can point to unluck, we can point to missed calls and all those different types of things, but at the end of the day, you can't you got to take advantage and you got to take control of your own destiny, and you can't allow it, especially when you have Patrick Mahomes on the other side. You have to take advantage, and it felt like the 49ers kind of kept the Chiefs around. And obviously, when you speak of unlucky, you look at the Dre Greenlaw. I mean, I thought the most unlucky thing imaginable.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, the 49ers had a shot, and they just weren't able to get it done.
Brad, before we get into the Steve Wilkes stuff, I want to know your read on what was the big storyline after the Super Bowl with Brandon Ayuk and the TikTok video and all these Instagram stories of, his friends saying BA to Vegas and how are you not going to treat your 1,300-yard receiver like this, and even BA himself saying, don't forget what got you there with some eyeball emojis. Just what is your whole read on that situation with Brandon Ayuk?
Yeah, Brandon and I have been able to kind of develop a relationship, through these things, and along with this team as well. So, it's a situation that I've kind of seen coming for a while, and we know that obviously Brandon Ayuk heading into his final contract year, the 49ers picked up his 5th-year option as being a first-round pick,
right.
So he's under contract for 1 more year. But as I see it, I don't think Brandon Ayuk would like to step onto that field without a new contract, and rightfully so. But I also think the other element to it is he wants opportunity. He wants to be featured like a Devontae Adams, a Justin Jefferson. When you look at the targets he's getting compared to the elite wide receivers in this league, you're looking at 50 to 60 less targets than all these guys. And he was still able to put up nearly 1,400 receiving yards on around 60 receptions. So what he's been able to do with less has been remarkable, which is why he was an all-pro. But I think at the end of the day, yes, he wants to be compensated, but I think he also wants that rock. He's a playmaker. He's a baller. He put the ball in his hands. That's what he wants. He's like your prototypical number 1 guy who wants to impact the game very early and often. And, I think 3 receptions in the Super Bowl, I think that's stinging a little bit for him on top of the loss. That was an opportunity for him to go out and show out. And I think he just wants to be featured at the end of the day.
Talking to Brad, SF Niners, catch him on YouTube and all social media platforms. Yeah, Brad, getting into the Steve Wilks thing, let's start here, right? At least on paper, top 5 defense. Yesterday turned into, did you watch the Niners or not? That's how people are reacting. Was he a scapegoat for the Super Bowl? How Chris and I have really been breaking this down is that it was more of a culture fit, right, type deal. And I wouldn't say that it was a defensive disaster the way some people are making it seem. What were your thoughts on Steve Wilks and the Niners parting ways?
Honestly, not surprised. I think, Kyle kind of led us into that thought process on the exit interview when he didn't give definitive language that, Wilks would be back. And so you're like, okay, well, let's brace ourselves for something to happen. And sure enough, the next day we find out. And I think you can really you can go all the way back to week 7 against the Vikings. That final play at halftime where Steve Wilks calls 0 blitz and they go for a huge touchdown before half. And that became this huge
Brad, I've never heard a play in the regular season get brought up so much when you went to the Super Bowl.
Right?
It's crazy.
It is crazy, but it became such a big deal. And then you take that element and then you have Kyle Shanahan burning a timeout in overtime when he sees Steve Wilks in 0 blitz, and he says, nope, we are not doing that in this moment. And I think you guys are actually just talking about this before the break, before we came on, in regards to the Kings. You're talking about trust, right?
Yeah.
You're talking about trust in the playoffs. That is the ultimate sign of not trusting someone to make the right call in a crucial moment. And that's all you need to know. And this isn't just a reflection of the Super Bowl. This has been going on all year, coming from the booth down to the sideline, all these different types of things, the way the players have spoke about it. It just didn't feel like a fit. And to be honest, even if they won the Super Bowl, I wouldn't be surprised if they maybe, amicably parted ways as well. It didn't feel like it was a fit. We knew it was a challenge to take a 18-year defensive coordinator, plug him into a scheme that isn't his and a staff that isn't his, and try to make it work. And at the end of the day, I think it was a difference of philosophies, difference of opinions, and at the end of the day, Kyle needs someone he can trust, and it didn't feel like he trusted Wilks, especially in the biggest moment.
Brad, 2-part question for you. So first off, do you believe that the Niners did this having somebody already in mind, or is this a situation where it is quite literally just anybody but Steve Wilks would be an improvement in their eyes? And then 2, Matt Barrows released an article on The Athletic today with 11 potential candidates. Who do you kind of see? I mean, the biggest names are being thrown out there. Bill Belichick, Mike Vrabel. There's tons of names being thrown out there. Who do you think would be the right man for that job?
Yeah, I would have to assume that, Kyle is a very meticulous type of preparer for the most part. And so for him to be able to make this move, I would feel he would have to be having some conversations on the back end and kind of understanding who could line up. And obviously, when you talk about potential candidates, there are some big names. You're talking about arguably the greatest coach of all time in Bill Belichick, who's sitting there without a job. All the head coaching vacancies has been filled. He's a defensive mind, and they have a relationship. John Lynch played under Bill Belichick. You think of the Jimmy Garoppolo trade back in 2017, where Bill Belichick reaches out to Kyle Shanahan to get that deal done. There's definitely a relationship there. And I'm thinking of it like this from Kyle Shanahan's perspective. He is so ingrained and intertwined into the offense. I think he wants someone who can take ownership of the defense. And part of the move with Steve Wilks was he felt like he had to oversee, maybe kind of, again, make decisions and pay attention to what Steve was doing rather than just focusing on what the offense needed to do. So if you can bring in a guy that not only has head coaching experience, but also has is just a great defensive mind. And you mentioned Vrabel as well. I know 49er fans won't like to hear it, but Pete Carroll is an interesting
I've heard that name.
It's just interesting because he runs basically an offshoot. The 49ers run an offshoot of what he did with Seattle. So the scheme is similar. And he's been a great defensive coach in this league. He's the founder of the Legion of Boom, the architect, I should say. And hey, he coached for the 49ers back in 95, 96. So there's a tie potentially there. So there are multiple names. Obviously, the 49ers are kind of in a situation where they can pick and choose, right? Because there's no jobs available.
Yeah.
They got the one job. And what guys like Vrabel and Belichick, I think, need to kind of weigh out is, do they want to spend this season on the couch? Or do they want to spend this season in a defensive coordinator spot that has just produced head coach after head coach when you look at Saleh and D'Amico, and you just look at the 49ers organization in general? So I think that's what's enticing about it is people are like, oh, would Belichick want to do that? I'm like, well, would they want to sit on the couch all year? Are they in a better spot to get a head coaching job next year after not coaching at all, or coming into a win now kind of locker room and try to revamp this defense to kind of what we've known it to be?
Talking to Brad, SF Niners. Brad, yeah, the question would be, if Pete Carroll comes to the Niners, would Richard Sherman still ride for the Niners as much as he's been riding for the Niners? I don't know if that would continue. Brad, before we get you out of here, over the last 30 years, only one team has lost a Super Bowl and got back the next year. How realistic is it for the Niners to be the second team in 30 years to pull that off?
I mean, we saw how tough it was to just get there this year. I mean, the 49ers, 4 NFC championships in the last 5 years, and each season has been so different than the next. And, I'm not one that believes that the window is completely closed. You still have Brock Purdy on a rookie deal. That allows you some flexibility. Yes, you need to re-sign some players, maybe backfill some spots. You need to get a defensive coordinator. But for the most part, your core will be intact. And I think they have one solid shot with this core to try to run it back. It's going to be challenging. We talked about at the beginning a little bit too. You need a little bit of luck as well. So it's going to be a challenge, but I still think the window is open for at least one more year. Then I think after that, when you're talking about paying Brock Purdy and you those other players are getting older and older, then you're going to have to think about some serious retooling of the roster. But I think this season they can go out and sign a big time free agent, try to extend Brandon Ayuk, and make another shot at it. So I still think the window's open for one more year, but we'll see after that.
Yeah. Thanks for everything, Brad. As always,
Yes.
Brad, SF Niners. Catch him on YouTube. Catch him on Instagram. He's popping on Instagram. Catch him on Twitter, X, as well, all social media platforms. Brad, SF Niners, thank you so much. We'll talk to you again soon.
Appreciate you guys.
All righty, let's get to a break. When we get back, continue the conversation. Also, getting back into some Kings talk. And in 45 minutes, your chance to win Daniel Tosh tickets. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Subscribe to Sactown Sports on YouTube and watch the Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Live Monday through Friday from 6 to 6. Plus view archive shows and exclusive content.
Subscribe at youtube.com/Sactown Sports.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Sacramento County Voter Registration and Elections.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. We're looking at partly cloudy skies for the day ahead, along with light winds out of the south. Today, temperatures come back close to average. Expect low 60s and overnight lows in the 40s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
The presidential primary election is March 5th. All registered voters will receive their party-specific ballot in the mail. Check to make sure you're registered correctly at elections.saccounty.gov or call toll-free 800-762-8019.
Welcome to the President's Day sale, happening now at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Celebrate with us and get huge savings on our giant selection. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. Plus, get top dollar for your trade.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Number one claims based on 2023 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company's Old Loan Report.
Power Business Technology is proud to be 100% independent, locally owned, and managed Toshiba copier dealer. Local ownership cuts out the red tape, allowing ourselves to never be too busy to personally answer the call when our clients need us. Recognized for excellence in service execution, training, and customer service, we're proud to be named a 2022 Toshiba ProMasters Elite Dealer. Contact us today for all of your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729, or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sactown Sports.
Thanks to Brad, SF Niners, for joining us. Yeah, and look, I think that's a big thing here when we discuss the Niners. We just saw this happen to the Eagles. There's a reason. It's a marathon, right? That's why it's so impressive what the Chiefs have done.
Right.
Because it's a marathon to just get to the Super Bowl. And I think that the Niners are more equipped than the Eagles to get back. But so much went right this season for the Niners. A healthy McCaffrey, who's dealt with injury issues in the past. A relatively healthy Debo, who's dealt with injury issues. A relatively healthy Kittle, who's dealt with issues. So I do think they got one more in them. But the narrative, I mean, Niner fans were saying it. Because the Eagles played really well in the Super Bowl. If it wasn't for that fumble, maybe the Eagles win it, right? I don't know where they fall on the luck chart, right? But maybe the Eagles had an opportunity. So to get that close and you get coaches poached and you see your team change, I think the Niners have the best shot. I'm still not really too confident in the NFC being able to challenge the Niners.
Yeah.
But a lot of things went well for them. This was the year we got cheated. We lost our quarterback.
Unfinished business.
Okay, you got there.
Right.
And you didn't get it done. If you do
that fire,
like
too.
you said, Chris, you do the math. You got to the NFC Championship last season. Yep. So you played that extra amount of football. Then you get all the way to the Super Bowl this season, that extra amount of football, and you have nothing to show for it. Yep. At some point, I'm not wishing it, but the numbers say
wear and tear.
Something is going to, and it already has with Greenlaw. Mm-hmm. You already have to replace Greenlaw. And
I didn't think about that. Yeah.
And so you lost Greenlaw, and you're going into this next season.
Another new defensive coordinator.
New defensive coordinator.
Regardless of who it is, I mean,
they're going to be a transition.
Curve,
and I'm not trying to pour salt in the wound, but yeah,
Adam Peters is gone too.
Adam Peters, and he's taking people with him.
Yeah, a lot of people. Commanders are taking the entire.
I'm bringing bags, and they Louis,
Crazy.
So I think that it's going to be a really tough road. Yeah. And to Brad's point, it feels like with this being Brock's last season on his rookie deal, this time, this one's it. You got one more shot at this.
Yeah, you got to maximize this.
And
Trent's gone too.
Trent's gonna be
Kittle's
gone.
Another year older.
Yeah, this is it, and maybe that can push them forward. But this was supposed to be the year. I hate to pour salt in the wound, but it was.
It was 100%, and it's tough to try and get yourself back up to motivate yourself too. And that's what I think is the toughest thing about them not getting the result is. Again, you played about as well as you could have this year. The playoffs lined up to where you play the 7 seed. You play the Lions, who have the least experience of anybody in the playoffs. Then you play the Chiefs, who of the 2 AFC teams was the team that you were supposed to want to play between them and the Ravens. Everything seemed to line up perfectly. And for them to not get it done this year, it's really tough to tell me. I mean, what are the Niners going to go 14-3 next year? And then I'm supposed to believe it again? They're at the point now where the only time where I think outside of 49er fans are going to truly believe that this is the year is when it happens. I think that they have exhausted every benefit of the doubt that they have picked up. And at this point, you just got to go out there and get it done. And not everything's going to line up. It's never going to be as perfectly lined up as it was this past season. I refuse to believe it. And so, you're going to have to get it out the mud in a weird way.
Yeah, and maybe they do, but this is probably the last hoorah for them from the 5-3-0. You can't pay all the Niners, right? Odd man out on getting extended is Debo with his age. Agree. So what I've read and what I've kind of seen is that you can liken Debo's contract, maybe not as bad, might not be apples to apples, but you can liken Debo's contract to Zach LaVine.
Oh no.
Okay. I think a lot of people have said that are we okay with trading Debo? And I've even said it. So I did some research.
Yeah, I've heard it.
And people have kind of discussed it. I think if you find somebody to take that contract, great. But it feels like a lot of those in the kind of Niner space, they don't think that Debo's contract is very movable. Which is not good.
It's not great. Yeah. I mean,
especially not for the Ayuk situation.
Right. No, especially not
keeping
with that.
Juwan.
Right.
I don't know how you keep Juwan Jennings and Ayuk. I'm not a capologist. Yeah. But I do know you can't just keep spending money.
Yeah, that's really tough. I mean, if Debo's contract really is that big of a burden or of a weight, that's really tough because that's the number. I mean, and also receiver with how well Ayuk's played and how well Juwan Jennings played. I don't, and you brought it up as well. I don't know if relying on Debo's health is the best possible path when, the Niners have tons of other playmakers who I think, you see how the Chiefs patchworked it after losing Tyreek Hill. I could see how the Niners would follow a similar process of, okay, if our system is so great, if our running back's great and Brock is just really good at throwing to open guys, which is the prevailing narrative out there. Well, then why do we need a guy like Debo? And I think Debo definitely provides a lot of unique characteristics and skills that definitely elevate this team. But, in theory, if you're paying him that much money, it feels like you can go out there and find somebody else who can give you a semblance of that kind of production for way cheaper.
We had these conversations last week when we were in Vegas about the dawn of the wide receiver. We talked to Michael Pittman Jr. There's a lot of wide receivers coming out each and every year. And because of the way that the Niners, I guess, don't prioritize their wide receivers or their more classic wide receivers, you might be in a situation where, hey, we just need a guy to be opposite Debo for however long. And we think we can find that guy either in the draft or maybe we already have him with Ronnie Bell or somebody like that because we can't afford to pay these guys, one. And two, it's not just about pay. Just like what Brad from SF Niners said, these dudes want the rock. Yep. And this offense, you're not going to get the rock. You're not as much as you want. All right, got to get to a break. When we get back, A's meet with the city of Oakland today. I'll give you a hint. Nothing really happened. Stiles Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Domantas Sabonis plays here.
He finds Sabonis. Put the frosting on the cake. Put the cherry on the sundae. Sabonis with a two-hand flush makes it 114-106.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings. Watkins.
RC Willie has everything for your home, including furniture, mattresses, appliances, electronics, and flooring. With our vast selection, it's easy to find items that fit your style and your budget. We also offer a variety of finance options, including 0 down and 0 interest for 18 months. Whether you're looking to establish new credit or ready to make your space more cozy, we can help. With our flexible finance options, you can easily update your home one piece or one room at a time. Plus, we have a low price guarantee. Let us help you make your home your way at RC Willie.
Carmichael Dave here for Jiffy Lube, your proud sponsor of the Drive of the Game. Listen to every Kings game for Gary Gerald's Drive of the Game call. Then listen to Jason and me the next morning for a chance to win a $100 Jiffy Lube certificate, courtesy of all the Jiffy Lube locations in the greater Sacramento area. Jiffy Lube, your place for oil changes, wiper blades, tire rotations, and more. Hey, for valuable coupons and a location near you, visit jiffylube.com.
Hey, it's Doug Christie here for Folsom Lake Ford. During the President's Day Sell-a-thon, get 0 down deals on approval of credit, huge discounts, and top dollar for all trades. Shop your truck headquarters at folsomlakeford.com.
The Arnold Law Firm has seen how an injury can turn anyone's life upside down. Whether it's a slip and fall, a car accident, or any other kind of injury. For almost 50 years, the Arnold Law Firm has been here to help you through the entire process to protect you and your family. If you are ever injured or in an accident, call the Arnold Law Firm. The Arnold Law Firm, providing real justice for you since 1975. Call 916-777-7777. That's 916-777-7777.
Right now, the sewer system is probably the last thing on your mind. And that's okay, because at the Sacramento Area Sewer District, it's our first priority. If you have a sewer problem like a slow drain or a backup, call us first, day or night.
Imagine taking a nice warm bath in your shower. Let's fix that. Right now, get that clogged drain unclogged for just $67. Plumbing, sewer, electric, heating, and air. Bonnie.com. Some restrictions apply. License 696-355.
Want the best movie experience in town? Join Sactown Sports IMAX Pass by visiting SactownSports.com. Sign up today. You can win tickets to see this week's films at the Esquire IMAX Theater.
Hagen Oaks is introducing the newly designed Callaway Chrome Tour line of golf balls, offering outstanding tour performance. From cover to core, Chrome Tour is the new gold standard tour ball for players who want the best in distance and feel. Chrome Tour is engineered for outstanding performance with exceptional speed, consistent flight, incredible spin, and greenside control. Ask about the full line of Callaway Chrome Tour golf balls at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, the #1 choice for golfers everywhere. Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway or online at hagenoaks.com.
Sactown Sports. Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
We have an update that's not a huge update. The Oakland A's and county officials met earlier today to discuss a lease extension at the Coliseum. And we have an update that the meeting has ended. This is from the San Francisco Chronicle. The question of where the Oakland Athletics will play their home games after next season while their new ballpark in Vegas is being built still hangs in the air. A's president Dave Kaval and chief of staff Miguel Duarte met with Oakland and Alameda County officials Thursday morning for about an hour to discuss a possible lease extension at the Oakland Coliseum, but no decision was reached. We had a very open and frank conversation about all different scenarios and alternatives and options, and nothing was taken off the table, said David Halbert, an Alameda County supervisor, adding, we agreed to continue to meet and make progress, so there will be additional meetings. I don't know what that means.
Yeah, that's I mean, I guess it's a positive in the sense of the two sides are communicating, which seemed for a while to not be happening. And I guess it's positive that the conversation seems to have gone positively enough that they're going to have another one. But ultimately, yeah, I mean, it's an update that there will be a further update to come. So do with that what you will. But I think it's a step in the right direction for sure. I mean, again, these two sides weren't even communicating. And so the fact that they are having actual real conversations about now, not the A's staying long-term, but at least the A's staying at all in that building, I think is a step in the right direction, because if things do truly fall apart, like a lot of people are starting to report things are at least on shaky ground, I mean, it still does make a lot of sense. As the mayor of Vegas said, I think it makes a lot of sense for both parties to stay in Oakland.
Why would it make sense for Oakland unless it's just, hey, the money that you got, the revenue that you guys bring in, we'll still take it.
Yeah.
It is what it is, even though you're still planning on leaving. You better begin. If you're Oakland, I'm cash me outside. How about that? I mean,
sure.
I need the dollars.
Keep the name too.
Exactly. Keep the name, even though they're eventually going to leave. I thought Oakland, I guess the whole thing was, we want you out since you're leaving anyway. I'm just trying to figure out why Oakland would be okay with it unless they are just super cashing them out.
I would imagine it's that for sure. And also maybe you can, I mean, I think it sounds like Oakland might be shifting to more of the expansion or just the next team up, essentially.
So proving it. So trying to prove it.
Exactly. Yeah. And getting some things in return, like holding on to naming rights and things like that. And, they also get to, keep the team in Oakland for the time being. Like, there is value in, even though they might not want them there, and they definitely don't want John Fisher there, but, keeping that community happy and, even again, just prolonging what could end up being a potential life draft for the A's. Like, there's a chance that, again, things go completely wrong. And, John Fisher, who's going to go where the money is, he might understand that staying in Oakland makes financial sense too. So I just think it's the best news for the city of Oakland. I think. I mean, for people, for fans in Oakland, this is the best outcome, I think.
Yeah, I'm torn. I'm really torn on it because 916-339-1140 A's fans call in, Sac Chat text line as well on the Folsom Lake Honda hotline, Folsom Lake Honda text line. All guests and callers join us from the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Yeah, because wasn't that the whole point of the reverse boycotts, right? Hey, we're not going to go because you're taking away our team.
Right.
So I just don't know.
John Fisher in general.
And John Fisher. So why all of a sudden would A's fans have a change of heart to now say, all right, well, since they're staying.
Well, I mean, they're still going. It's just, I think it's when you're presented with, this or nothing, I think this is still better than nothing. And if everything is signed, sealed, delivered, and there's truly nothing you can do, I mean, enjoy it while it lasts. So I think that even though it's not under the best circumstances, again, this is better than nothing. And after all that has been talked about, like, I think you got to take it. I understand why it's you could argue it's a bit hypocritical on multiple fronts from a lot of different people in this situation. But I think the important thing is the A's staying in Oakland, playing in Oakland. And, that who knows, you might luck into something. And even if it is just keeping awareness on the issue, I mean, this did all just kind of spring up really quickly. And it felt like all of a sudden, okay, wait, it's official. They're moving to Vegas. So, if the A's can stay in Oakland for 3 more years, you can start to raise questions of, wait, why exactly are we moving out of, or why are they moving out of here again? I think that it's good. You can have more protest games as well. You have more time to bring awareness to the situation. And clearly by what we've seen so far, this thing is not signed, sealed, and delivered. So.
No, well, I'm just looking here because there's the A's, but more people are excited right now, and they're going to obviously make
the Ballers.
Yeah, the Oakland Ballers playing at the historic Raymond D. Park in West Oakland. And, they're getting a lot of movement here, and there's going to be a lot of spite watching, right?
Yes.
And look, literally, when you go to the Oakland Ballers page, it says, we're sealing baseball back for Oakland. Fans first, Oakland forever. So we know exactly who they are and who they want to be. I mean, their colors are the same colors as the A's, and instead of an A, it's a B for the Oakland Ballers. So we know what they're doing, and I think Oakland fans are probably going to try to make a statement. And I'm looking here, Chris, just from the digital, and it's a very historic park. And I'm looking here from the digital, and they say, they're basically working to make sure that this was 4 hours ago. We're proud to announce that the Oakland Ballers will be playing our spring 24 home games at Raymond D. Park. We're humbled to be partners with the community in activating this historic field. And just I'm watching here with no sound, and it's got a bunch of pictures from back in the day when they used the field. I would assume they're going to make improvements to the field throughout the seasons, right? Because the way it's sounding, based on the pictures that I'm seeing, I don't even know. And they have some time. It's already February. I don't know if they're going to be able to seat everybody, right? I think a lot of people are going to go just to spite the A's.
Sure.
And this thing's going to be a mess. So just to kind of not combat what you're saying, but with the Oakland fans are going to be in a tough situation. And the problem is with the A's that they are also not very good. So it's not as if you just can't. Oh, man, it's so tough to watch these guys. Let's say when the Warriors went to San Francisco, right? And they left Oakland, and an Oakland fan was, man, not another team leaving. And it's, all right, well, it's still Steph. They won a championship in San Francisco, right? It's hard to not watch. It's hard to not be associated with it.
It might be easy to quit the A's. Yeah, it's not quite a I can't quit you situation.
Yeah, it's really hard. They're balling so much. I'm missing
Tyler
this.
Soderstrom. Shea Langolier.
Right. It's not as if back, we ain't got Coco Crisp out there. We don't got the guys out there. So I don't know where A's fans are gonna fall on this.
No, and I'm seeing, Rockin' New Era on the chat is saying, why would Oakland entertain the A's extension? People are more excited about the Ballers, saying he begs to differ. Nothing would be better. Nothing would be better. The team is leaving and you don't want to give Fisher money. I completely understand that. I mean, that's a really good point. And I'm sure a lot of A's fans will feel that as well. And rightfully so. Like, don't give that man a single dollar because he's just going to pocket it and he's still going to leave you. I totally get that. But at the same time, like, maybe you wait until the very, very last season, but I'm telling you, from the Sacramento side, I know we didn't lose the team, but almost losing the team, you're not going to want to miss just the last possible chance to get those memories, to see that field. And, it's not going to ever be the same. And so I would say, yes, absolutely stick to your guns. But at some point, like, don't let pride get in the way of yourself having fun too. And, yes, John Fisher might have ruined this for you, but the A's are still yours. Like, you should take some form of ownership over that. And I would recommend just go out to a couple games.
If you want them to. If you want it to be. From the 209, I'd go as far as guaranteeing Oakland Ballers have a stronger attendance number than the A's. Yeah, I'm just based on from what I'm seeing. I don't know if it's going to be popping, but from what I'm seeing just from the video, there's gonna be a lot of standing. You got to be cool with standing. I don't see a lot, but I'm sure they can put in bleachers before. This is just the initial setting, so I'm interested to see.
I hope they do. I really hope they do, because I hope that this is not just people talking. Because it's easy to talk and say, "Hey, like, oh yeah, screw John, I'm gonna go to the ball," but like, you can't just show up to opening night. Like, if you're gonna do it, like, be about it.
Yeah, and I'm trying to figure out as I look at the different schedules, because if I'm not mistaken, is this just a independent ball team?
I believe so. You would probably know a lot more about that structure.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think this team is associated with. I don't think this team is associated with another franchise. I think it's just an indie ball team, and I'm just gonna be really well. The A's aren't very good, but I'm being very honest. Indie ball is indie ball. It's not
right.
It's not great, but you'd be going to go, and it's professional baseball. Right. Don't get me wrong, but a lot of guys get signed. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying the level of baseball, it's going to be more of an event versus, but and you have the Oakland roots out there as well. And I'll confirm during the break, because I'm seeing who they play. I'm 95% sure they are an indie ball team. We also have some more here before we get to a break from the 925. Ballers 4-1 over the A's in a 7-game series.
That would
nicely
be great.
Nicely done.
That would be incredible.
From the 510, to heck with John Fisher. Leave him as a vagabond fan since 1970. I get it. I get it.
Absolutely.
And going back to the 209, only way I'm cool with Fisher staying in town any longer is if the city helps bleed him dry, so he's forced to sell. I get it. All right, let's get to a break. When we get back, Ty Lue, not very happy with the refs. We also talk about the Kings as well as they get ready for their postseason run. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
The NFL's leading rusher plays here.
And a handoff to McCaffrey, walks in the end zone. Handoff to McCaffrey, takes it right down to the goal line. He does his thing again. McCaffrey goes in motion right. Backwards pass led by Juszczyk. A block there. Hurdles the man. 10, 5, touchdown! CMC!
You can hear all of Christian McCaffrey's touchdowns on your home for 49ers football. Sactown Sports.
Whitey here reminding you that not all grills are created equal. Start your 2024 grilling season right with a new lifetime warranty Napoleon Prestige line of outdoor cookers. My personal Napoleon P500 series gas grill has turned me into a grilling pro. It's incredible. Napoleon Prestige grills, versatile grilling for every occasion. Form, function, and luxury can come in the same package. Just go to your local Green Acres Nursery and Supply for the best selection today, or visit Napoleon.com for a dealer near you.
Country in the Park is back May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Jay Cohen, Walker Hayes, and more. Tickets start at just $46. Country in the Park May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPFest.com. Brought to you by Coors Light, Garner Roofing, and Roseville Kitchen and Bath.
Febreze.
Fabric Talk. Hey, it's me, your couch. Today's my favorite day of the week. Febreze Fabric Spray Day. The occasional deep cleans are nice, but in between, you know I'm needing a refresh. Ooh, here she comes with the Febreze Fabric Spray. Oh yeah, spritz them armrests. Don't be shy. Nothing like a good spray down to get me smelling so fresh and clean. Don't forget my back. Nice. Febreze Fabric Spray. It's just that easy. Now we can both breathe happy. Febreze. La 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 la.
Timmy, everybody. Great job. Next up, we have Samantha.
10 times better performance can make a big difference. Castrol Edge Motor Oil gives your engine 10 times better high temperature performance. Castrol Edge, better oil for maximum performance. Now through March 4th, get 5 quarts of Castrol Edge or Edge High Mileage Full Synthetic and an oil filter for $36.99, only at AutoZone.
Claim based on Sequence 3 H test versus API SP test limits.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
Titleist is introducing the next generation of AVX golf balls. It's for players looking for low-flying, low-spinning golf balls with a very soft feel and excellent greenside control. Re-engineered from core to cover with exceptional distance and extraordinary feel, the new AVX is even better. It's available in white and high optic yellow. Titleist also is introducing the new Tour Soft golf balls. A new larger core increases distance off the tee while providing an incredible soft feel on every shot. Golfers who tee up Tour Soft are looking for soft feel and performance throughout the bag. Play it in white, high optic yellow, or green. True Feel is the softest Titleist ball, offering penetrating ball flight and distance from a unique spherically tiled dimple design. It's for players who prioritize soft feel and trust the quality and consistency of the Titleist brand. Another reason why Titleist is the #1 ball in golf. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Welcome to the President's Day sale, happening now at Northern California's #1 Honda dealer, Stockton Honda. Celebrate with us and get huge savings on our giant selection. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, Stockton Honda has the selection and savings. Plus, get top dollar for your trade.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Number one claims based on 2023 total new and Honda certified pre-owned vehicle car sales from American Honda Motor Company's Old Loan Report.
When accidents turn life upside down, AutoAccident.com is in your corner. Compassionate advice, loyal support, and the courage to fight for you. AutoAccident.com. That's AutoAccident.com.
Sactown Sports.
Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Doing some research here, and look, baseball is baseball. I'll watch anything, and I think if you make the experience good enough, and I see on the text line somebody says to check out the Savannah Bananas. They're hilarious. If you don't know about the Savannah Bananas, they're basically like the Harlem Globetrotters for baseball. So to that, I'm looking here. I found a ranking of the indie ball leagues, and the Pioneer League, which is what the Oakland Ballers are in, ranks 4th out of 9 leagues. So it's basically a little bit better than the middle. And I'm thinking, yeah, as far as the experience, you can't go full Savannah Bananas. But if you get some bat flips, if you get music, live golf type for baseball. If you're able to pull something off like that, I think that Oakland would really get down with that. I don't know how much is allowed, how much isn't for those leagues. But yeah, I think just as from a pure baseball standpoint, just from what I've seen, they're going to have to continue to build up that field. And yeah, the Oakland Roots, Sac Republic, they do well.
Yeah.
Now the thing is, to your point, how many people are bluffing on going to the Ballers instead of the A's? I could see it being something where it's hot to trot to start and then it kind of falls off.
Right.
Or simply because I think the Oakland Ballers would probably really want the A's to leave now.
Yes.
Right? To be the only show in town.
Absolutely.
And I think the fact that this is hanging on, as much as people are saying that Fisher can go where the sun don't shine, I don't know how much that will really happen once you get out there. And I'm not talking down on the Pioneer League at all. I'm just saying there could be a lot of initial feelings here, and people just might not choose either. Right.
Exactly.
The Oakland Ballers are going to have to really make it an experience. That food better be banging. And who were you telling me?
Local eats.
Who did you tell me they had good food out there? We were just talking about was it the Stockton Kings? Who was it? You said, they got really good food. It was a sports venue though.
I can't remember. I know we were talking about the San Jose earthquake the other day.
Yeah.
They have like the world's largest outdoor or America's largest outdoor bar.
Yeah, there was somewhere you said they have really good food too. So yeah, the Oakland Ballers are really going to have to make it an experience if they want to pull this off.
Oh, the River Cats.
The River Cats who are getting warmed up as well. Yeah, and there you go. The River Cats, something like that. And they can pull it off.
Lesser level, right?
No, yeah. River Cats is AAA.
Right.
So we're going to see MLB players because they're going to be rehabbing and things like that. So AAA completely different than Pioneer League. But if you make it an experience, they might be able to pull this off. But I think it will be tough. It will be tough if the A's decide to stay. Maybe it lasts for a little bit. I just don't know how long.
Yeah, it'd be tough. But I mean, I'm rooting for him for sure. I mean, I think that would be a great form of protest for sure. I mean, just to show, there is an appetite for baseball at any level in this market, and there would be no better example than to say, absolutely, this Pioneer League team that is, a middle league or a middle competition of the Pioneer League. Look at the attendance that we have here.
Right.
Imagine what it would be if you can get these same people excited about a really big club. I think that it would definitely prove its point, but it's also got to be a sustainable thing.
Now, that is how this comes back to. That's what the reverse boycott was supposed to do.
Exactly.
And then you had Manfred come out. Oh yeah, I mean,
it was cute.
It was cute, and they almost got to an average attendance. And that guy, I mean, people need to be
Send
more
him
upset.
To the sun.
Yes, more upset with him as well. But that's the other thing about if the A's do stay in Oakland. If there is some type of deal that Manfred and Major League Baseball ownership would agree to where it's like, hey, if you guys are just give the A's fans a reason to promote. And if it's all right, we're putting money in Fisher's pocket, but there is an agreement that if we show that we are a sustainable area, market, we can build and kind of get our own thing.
Right.
Sure, I think A's fans would sign up for that. But if it's just do it because you love the A's,
right.
And go watch AA baseball because you love the A's. Good luck with that. That's the problem.
Yeah.
I might just go watch Pioneer because I'm not too sure it's different.
Sure.
I'm not too sure how different it is.
And also, why the hell should anyone in Oakland listen to any sort of deal? Like, even if there is something struck with Major League Baseball and Rob, I'm not trusting a word that comes out of that man's mouth. So even if you say it, I'm going to say, no, this is just this guy's way of trying to make this thing look like it's not a disaster.
Exactly.
So
and
if MLB was smart,
us,
they probably would try and implement something like that, but they're probably not even that smart to do that.
Right. They're just going to say, just go because you love the team.
No, because they hate John Fisher more than they love the team at this point, which is really telling because, as you pointed out from that text, there's A's fans from the 70s. I'm sure there's even fans before that too. There's a lot of fans that they're upset. And it's crazy to me that even fans who have been around for as long as that, 40-year, 50-year A's fans. I truly believe that to a person, they hate John Fisher more than they like their team or love their team. And that has nothing to do with their level of love and admiration for the team. It has a lot more to do with just the decade that's been, or decade plus of this man just pulling them around and making them look a fool. And I don't blame them for being tired of it and just wishing that it was quite literally. Why can't that be like a Steve Wilkes situation where it's, I don't care who the owner is, literally anybody except for John Fisher would be better.
Yeah, this is from the 209. Check out The Saint of Second Chances on Netflix. Great story on what independent ball can be.
Cool.
Hope the ballers have studied it closely. Look, the problem is if they're not the only show in town.
Exactly.
Right? If they're the only show in town, honestly, you know me. It's almost college baseball season, and I every year I tell people go watch college baseball. All right, I'll watch any type of baseball. I'm speaking for the non-hardcore baseball fans, not myself. I will be. I was a little too far, but I'll be at River Cats games. I'll be at Oakland Ballers games when I can make it. I will watch any type of baseball. So if they get this right and the A's don't stay, this could definitely pop.
It could definitely be a thing.
It could definitely pop. It just really depends on how long the A's do stay and how much A's fans are still have an appetite and want to stick it to Fisher and watch baseball. Now, somebody that also wanted to stick it to the refs, and that was last night as Ty Lue. This is just kind of a funny clip. So Ty Lue got ejected last night, and he was not happy. And these are just two random clips that I found hilarious because I don't know what the fine's going to be, but it's going to be something because you just can't do this. He has one clip where he's yelling and another clip. We'll play both of them back to back. That's Ty Lue walking out of the building.
Sounds like a player.
He wasn't chasing the refs, but the Clippers ended up winning.
Yep,
so he was juiced up, even though, so he kind of he avenged the fact that he got kicked out. And here's another one.
Where's James at? The referee, I want to kick him in the mouth.
Where's James at? I want to kick him in the mouth. That's crazy.
Where's James at? The referee, I want to kick him in the mouth.
Are you sure? Could it be kiss him in the mouth?
I highly doubt it.
The referee, I want to kick him in the mouth.
Now I hear kiss.
No.
This is a Lori Yant or whatever that Laurel Yanny. You guys remember that?
Yes. Where James at? I want to kick him in the mouth.
I hear
Where's
kiss him.
James at? The referee, I want to kick him in the mouth.
No, okay.
Wow.
I think it's kiss him in the mouth.
But why would he say that?
Because it's going to be like a troll, like thank you so much for kicking me out. Like, I love you, man. Thank you.
Are you serious or is
yes,
this a bit?
no, I swear. I think he's trolling. I think he's like, like you kick me out. Thank you, man.
They put it on the poll.
Like it's like I hate you so much. I'm gonna kiss you because that's the complete opposite.
Right. They put it on the poll.
Okay.
If you cut that, I'm gonna. I will kick you in the mouth.
Let's listen. Okay, let's listen. Let's just listen hard. Ready?
Where's James at? The referee, I want to kick him in the mouth.
I'm hearing the S now.
No,
and I think it's because Chris put it in my head.
No,
or maybe it's just because
the dress blue or gold.
He said kiss him in the mouth.
That's
not
proper.
That? Yeah, that's not that's the problem I'm having here.
The problem is if he said kick him in the mouth, that's pretty aggressive.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So is kissing in the mouth if he wants to kiss a essentially coworker on the mouth.
But yelling, I'm gonna kiss you on the mouth is
definitely
not.
There's no
way. Semantics.
The in is what makes it worse.
I'm just saying.
Where's James at? The referee, I want to kick him in the mouth.
If he says kick him in the mouth,
it's from a different sound.
I just think if he says kick him in the mouth, then there's real possibility, or just he's going to get fined. And if he says kiss him, then
run it back. Okay.
Yeah. Where's James at? The referee, I want to kick him in the mouth.
Okay, dude. Now
I'm telling you,
I don't know where I am. I don't know who I am.
He's yelling. He's trying to bring as much of attention to himself as possible. He's trying to get a laugh. Like I mean, I think he's definitely trying to upstage the ref, but I don't think he said kick him in the mouth. That's kind of wild,
dude.
I mean, not saying kiss him in the mouth.
How is that
wild,
not, Chris? That's way more wild. Saying he wants to kiss him on the mouth?
I don't think so. I definitely think kicking
kiss
somebody
him in the mouth, not on the mouth, in the mouth. You can't say.
You can't
Look,
say
definitely
that, Chris.
kick.
Oh, sorry, but you can just throw out there. I'm just gonna.
No, I think he was tripping.
We're about to go to break.
Tripping.
I'm just gonna walk outside and I'm gonna say I can't wait to kick somebody in the mouth.
I don't think it's okay. I don't think it's okay. No, that's what I'm saying. He's tripping.
Yeah, they're both bad, but the kiss is, I think, worse because of the that's not.
I think y'all are
Where's
showing
James
your
at?
insecurity.
No. He was angry. He was angry.
Well, you're bordering on a different type of assault then. And that's what I'm trying to say. I think that is worse.
Where James at? All right, we got to get to a break.
Bad.
When we get back, look, I was really hard on Niner fans for wanting to be underdogs, and Patrick Mahomes has some things to say at the parade as far as being an underdog, and he's getting killed for it. Let's get to a break, and we will get to that next. Stiles Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Where's James at? The referee, I want to kick him in the mouth.
The only place you'll find Keegan Murray is Sactown Sports.
Out to Keegan Murray, straight away for three, and Keegan knocks down the triple.
Hey Sacramento, it's Keegan Murray, and you're listening to the home of Sacramento Kings, Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
When you need auto parts, O'ReillyAuto.com is just a click away. Order online and pick up at your local store. Visit O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
At Ashton & Price, we get injury victims to yes. Experience, yes. Ashton & Price has been around for over 25 years. No more insurance companies? Yes. Our clients focus on getting better, and we handle all the rest. Results? Yes. We've collected over $100 million for injury victims. No fee until we win? Yes. Our clients pay nothing until we win. Ashton & Price, the best at getting to yes. Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
Whether you prefer thrills or serenity, the 2024 Accord from Elk Grove Honda delivers both. With Honda Sensing Standard, the 2024 Accord is once again a winner of the 2024 Car and Driver's 10 Best Cars, making Honda the winningest brand in car and driver award history. Drive a 2024 Accord Hybrid and see for yourself what the fuss is all about. We're Elk Grove Honda in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
Government Mule. Live in concert. 30 years strong tour. Friday, February 16th. The venue at Thunder Valley. Government Mule with special guest Lucas Nelson and POTR. Tickets on sale now. For tickets, visit ThunderValleyResort.com. New album, Peace Like a River, is in stores now. Don't miss Government Mule live.
I like daffodils, tulips, the big dinner plate dahlias. I loved being in the garden, but I wasn't going to be able to because I couldn't not only walk, but I couldn't really stand on my foot without being in pain. It was excruciating. So my husband said, let's go to the Good Feet store.
For over 20 years, we've helped people like Terry live the life they love without letting their feet get in the way.
This nice young man said, I think I can help you. He got the arch support and I was fitted. And I kept walking back and forth across the store. And I looked at my husband and burst into tears because it was the first time in a year that I have not had any pain in my foot. I have had no pain since the day I bought them. Now I can do whatever I want. There isn't any place on my property that doesn't have flowers blooming 365 days a year. I still can't believe it. My name is Terry, and that's my Good Feet story.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
For sore feet, aching back, knee, or hip pain, come to the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, or Vacaville.
It's no secret to golf enthusiasts that Timber Creek and Sierra Pines in Roseville are one of the region's most unique and scenic places to enjoy a great game of golf. 27 holes, boundless options. Elevate your game on our newly renovated driving range, putting green, and chipping area. Whether you're aiming for fun, lower scores, or all-around growth, we've got you covered. Experience golfing dreams in Roseville and book your tee time at timbercreekgc.com. Timber Creek and Sierra Pines, your ultimate golf haven.
Hey, it's Doug Christie here for Folsom Lake Ford. During the President's Day Sell-a-thon, get 0 down deals on approval of credit, huge discounts, and top dollar for all trades. Shop your truck headquarters at folsomlakeford.com.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios. KHTKAM Sacramento. KYMX HD2 Sacramento. Sacramento's official home for the San Francisco 49ers.
Touchdown! San Francisco!
Sactown Sports.
We're James at the referee. I want to kick him in the mouth. We're James at the referee. I want to kick him in the mouth.
Live and local. Live and local.
This is Sactown Sports.
The poll is up. If you heard what was said by Ty Lue, did he say where James at? I want to kick him in the mouth, or where James out? I want to kiss him in the mouth. And both are going to be a fine. The question is, what fine would be more? And they're both probably going to be a fine. But it is time, Chris Watkins.
Yeah. Oh man,
I hope you have your number ready.
I did not study.
4 was yesterday, so we cannot do 4 again. Live Nation has teamed up with Sactown Sports for your chance to see Daniel Tosh at Hard Rock Live April 12th. All you have to do is hit up the Folsom Lake Honda hotline right now, looking for caller number
5.
Caller number 5. Caller number De'Aaron Fox to score that pair of tickets. Check out Daniel Tosh. For more information, visit SactownSports.com, 916-339-1140, 916-339-1140. Hit up the Folsom Lake Honda hotline right now, looking for caller number 5. 916-339-1140. You know, there's so many stats going on, Chris. I refresh him, and I know we send each other so much stuff throughout the day, but I saw another one off the top of my head, something about De'Aaron Fox and another his points per game or some average that he has right now. Just another thing. He's like the first all-star to ever average that and not become an all-star. It's so crazy. And we've talked so much about Sabonis being kind of snubbed more, but they both were just snubbed horribly.
Yeah.
De'Aaron, I think, is more of the argument of you just need more guys in the all-star.
Yes.
Sabonis was just straight up snubbed.
Yeah, Sabonis is a snub. You also probably shouldn't factor positions into all-star as well. The interesting thing, I don't know if we've talked about, but like De'Aaron said it the other day at practice, how he's not, I mean, he's made it well known that De'Aaron's not pressed about missing the all-star game at all. But Sabonis actually has like contract incentives that are built into his current deal, with all-star being one of those incentives. And so it's stuff like that where it's like, you know, how you're literally taking money out of this man's pocket because should I say you don't know ball? Like is because he's literally leading the league in triple doubles. He's leading the league in double doubles. He's leading the league in rebounding. We have said he's probably been the best player, like total games wise. Like I think Domantas Sabonis has been more impactful than De'Aaron Fox has in more games this season. So make it make sense. It still has not made sense. And you can say, oh, the Kings are an 8 seed. I guess, you know, you're kind of just the odd man out in that situation, but it feels like, I mean, they
were the 5th seed
very
at the time,
easily, exactly, can be the 5th seed in a couple days. And it's just, it's ridiculous. I mean, expand the rosters. I don't know what you have to do, but there shouldn't be a world in which Domantas Sabonis outplays Nikola Jokic twice in a week and isn't an all-star. It's just, it doesn't make sense. I don't understand how, you know, other broadcasts when they're playing the Kings, how do you go against them and just say, yep, there's no all-stars on this roster. I know Sabonis has a double-double halfway through the second quarter and he's 2 assists away from a triple-double, but yeah, not an all-star. You know, instead we've got, we'll pick your least favorite all-star. It's ridiculous.
Karl Anthony Towns for me
that's the one.
That's the one, and I know you don't need. I know they're top in the West. I get it, but I also just don't. Right, and I'm not of the mindset that every team deserves an all-star. You can't do that because that's just embarrassing.
Yeah.
but something definitely needs to be done. And unfortunately, like we say, you know, you joke about, okay, these guys don't have podcasts. By the way, there's another new podcast now, the roommate bros or whatever it is, with Jalen Brunson and was it Josh Hart?
Yes.
So the two of them. There's another one. And, you know, we joke about the fact that the Kings are super chill. They don't have podcasts. They don't make waves. And I think it matters. I mean, Karl Anthony Towns has all these random ads. He's always doing an interview somewhere. And unfortunately, it is a bit of a popularity contest. But again, it's not just a popularity contest. It's a popularity contest that also works against your wallet. I know Sabonis missed out on something close to 1.7 million like that because he didn't get voted in. And, you know, hopefully it adds a chip on their shoulder. They have played, I'd say, better, right? They've definitely had some letdown games, but I think they have played, I'd be willing to say, more consistently since that's happened.
Sure.
I don't think it's enough. I don't think it's enough to drive them the rest of the way, and I don't think it should be. I think what should drive you is just wanting to be a champion and wanting to be better. But there is something, and I think that all these guys have bought in. They signed the contract. They bought into Sacramento and kind of being that forgotten city, right? And I have always said that Sacramento lives in this in-between between being a big city and small city, right? Where you have, we can't forget about Oklahoma City. They're a tweener. Very similar to me in my baseball career. Tweener, all right? They're not a big city. They're not a small city.
Right.
So it's actually it's easier to get forgotten, right? Oklahoma City is so small that, hey, we can't forget about Oklahoma City because everybody's going to forget about them. We can't forget about Minnesota because everybody's forgetting about them, right? It's different because you don't forget about because people don't forget about Sacramento. They do forget about Sacramento as you know, hypocritical as that may sound.
No, absolutely. I mean, it's a small city in the state that has one of the world's largest economies. Like it's all relative. I mean, absolutely. It's interesting. And what do you think about the fact that I don't think it's been confirmed yet? I saw Ty Lue had some comments about the health of Kawhi Leonard in the All-Star game. I guess he didn't play yesterday in yesterday's game, but there's questions on whether Kawhi Leonard's going to be available for the All-Star game. I don't know if they're going to replace him because I hear Kawhi is going to Indiana. So I don't know if they're going to not replace him or since he won't be able to play in the actual game, if there's a potential opening there. I think what I would say to that, to answer my own, I guess I didn't really present a question, but I don't want Domantas Sabonis at the All-Star game, period. Especially at this point, like, it's over. It's done. He didn't get named. I don't need the petty, he gets thrown in as an injury replacement at this point, like, especially with the comments from Mike Brown yesterday. I just want these dudes chilling on a couch for the next 5-6 days.
So when will they make that decision on Kawhi?
I would guess, I mean, the last day of games is today, so I would guess Friday, and then you would have to fly them out this weekend, but that feels just way too sudden and abrupt. Like, if I were Sabonis, I would say, no, I already have plans. Like, I'm not just going to go fly out to Indy.
So then they just would have or did they just call the next person?
I guess.
They call De'Aaron?
And De'Aaron just laughs, or he looks at the number, says league office, and he just puts his phone back down because we know he doesn't want to go. He has no incentive to go.
Yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate, but I don't know. You should go.
They already went last year. I just don't think they really.
But does he get that incentive, Sabonis?
That's a great question. I would think so.
Of course he does.
I would think so. Which again, I mean, you might have to ask wifey on that one, where it's like, hey,
want this
like,
Millie or no?
You know, we got this vacation plan, but I could quite literally get paid for not going on vacation, not just get paid, like you said, 1.7, whatever. It's a nice chunk of change to just say no to. So, that's probably going to be a family decision. But again, as just a Kings observer from the Kings glasses, sit, man, please. We need you as healthy as possible. I need you as rested as possible. I know you might think it might be fun to head on out to Indiana, where you used to be that guy, and you could go see some old people, go see some old friends, go see some old places. But I would much rather have Sabonis go. I know he lives in Napa. Like, Just go enjoy wine country or something. Go to just vacay.
You are literally planning his vacation.
That's totally fine with me. I mean, well, Keegan's going to be in Indy. Keegan's going to be the only one out there. So maybe Sabonis should go just to kind of keep Keegan company, because I can't imagine Keegan's going to be a social butterfly out there.
It was weird how things. I felt like we never discussed. I don't know if it's a snub. I don't know if he got a call or did not. I feel like the whole Malik Monk slam dunk contest thing just never got legs, no pun intended, or I don't know if he turned it down, because he's got probably two of the best dunks this season. For him to not even get a look is a little bit bizarre. And the slam dunk thing it's a lot quieter than I think the weirdly it's quieter than obviously the All-Star snubs or the 3-point contest as well. I don't know what goes into it, but it just feels like it never came up. I know one year when Kuminga, the year that JTA went, Kuminga said no. And I know for a fact Kuminga said no. I don't know if Malik Monk said no or what happened, because the fact him not getting selected seems or even thought of seems weird.
If I had to guess, he said no, and I'm only assuming that based off of the names that we got in the dunk contest. I would assume that
Mac McClung had to take his spot.
Literally everyone who has ever dunked a basketball in the NBA was asked, and even then we got to the bottom of the barrel. Do you know how many dunk contest participants do you think you could name from this year? Because my answer probably would have been 2. I think I knew 2.
Was it Obi Toppin's brother? Is he in it?
Obi Toppin's brother is in it. Not Obi Toppin. Obi Toppin's brother, Jacob Toppin.
He got 11 minutes yesterday. He got 11 minutes last night. Who else?
Good for you.
Jacob Toppin.
One of them made news because people like him typically don't do it.
It's a bigger name, right? Oh, was it Donovan? No. Jaylen Brown.
Jaylen Brown.
I got Jaylen Brown. I got
You're already doing
Toppin.
better than me.
I got Mac McClung.
You're on hard mode. You went Jacob Toppin first, so
why that stuck out in my head?
Well, because it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, and that's where
Jaime Jaquez is the other one who I don't think I've seen clips of Jaime Jaquez in his high school dunk contest.
Yeah,
sick. He went between the legs. Like I don't sleep on him, but I never once in my life thought of Jaime Jaquez high flyer.
Yeah, he's a Skywalker.
That to me, that's very, very telling of the competition.
Who else?
That's it. It's Jaylen Brown, Jaime Jaquez, Mac McClung, who's literally a G leaguer. They're just having him in there because of his name and the fact he won last year, and Jacob Toppin. So we have 2 guys who we've heard of, Jaime Jaquez, Jaylen Brown, and then Mac McClung, who's still living off of high school mixtapes, Overtime. Shout out Overtime. Shout out Ball is Life. Shout out Yay Areas, Finest, all of it. Shout out Mac McClung for creating a niche. But we've got a G leaguer and somebody's brother in the dunk contest. Like, what are we doing here? I mean, so yes, to answer your question, I think Malik Monk just said no, because I would like to think that they would at least send a feeler out to Malik Monk before they say, who we need to get in there? Jacob. J Toppy.
Hey, it runs.
Come on.
Hey, it's in his blood.
Come on.
It's in his blood.
How are you going to name one son Obi and the other one Jacob?
That's
what do you mean?
Tough,
what should it be? Obi and Toby?
Well, it should be something cool. Like Obi is way cooler than Jacob.
Way cooler.
Yeah.
Or go both boring. You can't do that. That's evil.
I like when it's the same letter.
Yeah.
I like the same letter situation.
That's kind of a nightmare.
How about
It's
twins
fun,
with
but
similar names? That's awful.
It's the worst. Why would you do
I think
that?
it's cool.
It's already hard enough.
As a parent, though, you're the only parent here.
Yeah.
You think that's a good idea?
No, I wouldn't do it. I would do both the same letter, but I wouldn't do Jake and
Jeffrey.
Yeah, I would do that. I would do
Jake
that.
and
I wouldn't do
Jake and Jeff.
I wouldn't do Matt and Pat. But I
It's
would do
kind
Jake
of
and
that's
Jeff.
interesting because they're pretty much the same to me. Like it's you run into the same.
But I'll do
problem.
it. I'll do it with all. I want all my kids. I don't know if they'll have the same. I don't know what I'll do. But with twins, I would do the same letter.
Interesting.
But they wouldn't rhyme.
Interesting. Yeah, that is super
Luke and Leia, big Star Wars guy.
Yeah.
I mean, I am, but yeah.
That's just no, man. That just seems like a nightmare. I feel like I feel like already, like my parents used to call me my sisters, and just like you're
gonna do it anyway,
and you're gonna do it anyway.
When I was a kid, I wanted to have 3 kids, and I wanted to name them Chocolate Chip Cookie.
Tough.
So then when they got in trouble, Chocolate Chip Cookie. All right,
or do them out of order.
Yeah, hey Chip, get over here. No Cookie, no, not you. Gotta get to a break. When we get back, Chris will turn his mic back on. Chris will turn his mic back on. Gotta get to a break. When we get back, someone punched someone in the face, and also were the Chiefs really underdogs? Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Last season, the Sacramento Kings gave us a little bit of everything. A Pacific Division type, GM of the Year, Coach of the Year, Clutch Player of the Year, All-Stars and All-NBA performers. Plus, we got to light the beam.
Here's a steal by Fox, the breakaway. He's got the rip with the left hand.
What does this season have in store? Find out. Each and every Sacramento Kings game can be heard right here on your proud home of the Beam team, Sactown Sports at SactownSports.com.
In this market, you'll find Fisher Investments is different than other money managers.
Different how? Aren't we all just looking for the hottest stocks?
Nope. We use diversified strategies to position our clients' portfolios for their long-term goals.
You don't just provide cookie-cutter portfolios?
No, we tailor our clients' portfolios to their goals and needs.
But you still sell investments that generate high commissions for you, right?
No, we don't sell commission-based products. We're a fiduciary, the highest standard of care for a financial advisor. It means we're obligated to act in our clients' best interest.
So when do you make more money? Only when your clients make more money?
Yep, we have one transparent management fee structured, so we do better when our clients do better.
Sounds like you really look out for your clients.
We do, because our priority is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement. That might be why most of our clients come from other money managers. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments, clearly different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
Check us out on YouTube. Search Sactown Sports and subscribe.
Some news here. Geno Smith told he will be on roster through this week. $12.7 million base salary. Option to keep or trade Geno. So I was talking to Chris about it. That essentially means
Geno's going to be their QB next year. Pretty much his contract's guaranteed tomorrow, and I mean, it's interesting. I don't think Geno wowed anybody last season. Of course, he had the breakout season, or his didn't he win the comeback player of the year? I think he was one of 2 years ago, which is always interesting when they're essentially saying you came back from sucking. But Geno, he was fine. I don't think that Niners definitely shouldn't be concerned.
No,
about
they're
that.
Probably rejoicing if you're a Niners fan.
I guess it's just kind of the Seahawks reading the lay of the land and not liking the quarterbacks out there in the draft, surprisingly.
No, they'll still take someone.
You think?
Yeah.
Second round? Maybe, the Penix spot, right?
Penix was never going that high anyway.
Right.
So they're just doing the thing where we
bridge quarterback.
Yeah. Does it really
Makes
matter
sense.
or not? Penix is an older guy. So how long do you want to wait for that? So does that really matter? You see Jordan Love, who clearly took some pointers from Aaron Rodgers during his time, but Jordan Love was kind of he was very hot and cold. We have no clue what Jordan Love's going to be.
Yeah.
So, and then Patrick Mahomes with Alex Smith. Was Patrick Mahomes not going to be Patrick Mahomes?
Right.
So I never know how that works.
Who knows?
I never know
really
if
tough.
it really matters. Aaron Rodgers was after Brett Favre. So maybe it works. I don't know if it's a perfect science or not. I also think the quarterback matters.
Yeah, I was going to say, I don't know if Geno Smith is
Geno's
necessarily
tutelage,
the mentor.
Now, I think Geno will probably be a good coach later, but as far as
yes, in terms of let me pass on this greatness to you.
Exactly. I don't know if that's when we watch Jordan Love. Oh wow, that's Aaron Rodgers right there. If we're watching Michael Penix, oh man, that's Geno.
That's Geno.
Maybe
right
with
there.
a pick or something like that. I don't know here. Okay, so Isaiah Stewart, Beef Stew, which was another name.
Emphasis on the beef.
Yes, another name on the trade market when there was a trade market for the Kings. Isaiah Stewart, this was posted this morning from Bleacher Report. Isaiah Stewart was arrested after allegedly punching Drew Eubanks before last night's Suns-Pistons game.
Not great.
He was issued a citation and released.
Not great.
And he's
Just
really been
not
trying
great,
to work
man.
to get his image back. And a lot of people, I mean, he was bleeding pretty bad. I know when I saw it, I didn't think this guy has a temper or an anger management issue simply because he was bleeding a lot. And if he didn't know what happened, right, he literally
You're talking about when
see.
he charged.
Yeah. I didn't
Lakers.
hold that against him because I just felt like
That was just a great meme, honestly.
it was a great meme and there was blood everywhere. He didn't really know or see what happened with LeBron. So that one I gave him a pass. I've seen him get into it with Draymond before. I don't watch a ton of
Draymond
Pistons
didn't want
games.
that smoke.
Draymond did not want that smoke, but now all of a sudden he is punching people in tunnels. That's not now it's a problem.
Right. Yes. Yes, absolutely. When you're punching the and you're not even playing. That's the thing.
No.
He was out. So he seems to be as
So he wasn't even
Charlie
suited
Murphy said,
up.
a habitual line stepper apparently is where he's trending towards. It's it's not great. There we go. Absolutely. It's just not great. Like it's not a great look for him. I know it is kind of on brand for him. He is a little bit known as the enforcer, as his nickname is Beef Stew, but you can't have people. I mean, he got arrested, quite literally assaulting other teams before the game. Like it's you got to be able to channel that. Like that's the difference between or I shouldn't say Draymond anymore, but that's kind of the thing. That's the line that needs to never be blurred is
you can't do
you
that.
can be aggressive, you can yell. There's a little bit of different rules on the floor, but you really can't have that off the floor stuff.
So this is from Shams. This was posted about a minute ago. I'm sure it came out not too long ago. This is a quote. And in Shams, this is just kind of, I don't know if he's trying to be funny on purpose. It really stemmed from their last game against each other. Isaiah Stewart dropped his bags and punched Drew Eubanks in the face, ...
So it was on site.
Yes.
From what it sounds like. ...
Drew Eubanks barely flinched. Why
Why
we adding that?
Why you gotta do that?
Why we gotta add that? Why we gotta add that? Yeah, so there was real smoke.
Those are some big men to just be kind of scrapping like that too. Like Isaiah Stewart's like a legit 6'9", Drew Eubanks legit like 6'10", 6'11". I mean, yeah, you can't have that. It's one thing to have emotions flare, but I'm curious what did set this all off, because apparently they're saying usually when this stuff happens, to peel the curtain back, usually has to do with money being exchanged that's not paid. And from what has been said, this was all this is just all basketball beef. This has nothing to do with off the floor. Not something was said. It was just, it was something was said. I guess Beef Stew was just talking a lot of trash, and Eubanks stood up for himself. And I don't know. I'm just, there's got to be something that made Beef Stew kind of go red or see red.
Or or he does have something going on, and
who knows? Yeah, and we just haven't seen the light of it.
Yeah, that's not great. So Beef Stew goes on to.
I think they might have played against each other in college as well, if I'm not mistaken. So this might really be like a very long-standing beef between him and Drew Eubanks. I think they were both from the Pac-12. I could be wrong. Yes, Beef Stew went to University of Washington, and I believe Drew Eubanks went to Washington State. I could be wrong. He went to Oregon State. That's what it is. So there could be some Pac-12.
And where did Eubanks go?
Eubanks went to Oregon State in 2015 through 2018, and Isaiah Stewart was in college. He was drafted in 2020. So yeah, there was a little bit of crossover there.
Oh, so they both went to the same school?
No, they did not go to the same school. They were in the same conference.
Where did Isaiah Stewart go?
Washington, University of Washington.
Okay. So yeah, maybe clearly something there. And yeah, Isaiah Stewart, you just can't be swinging on people, man. That's not a good look. All right, got to get to a break. When we get back, were the Chiefs really underdogs? Mahomes had some things to say, or slurred some things to say at yesterday's parade. Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Our first year as the radio home of the San Francisco 49ers is one we will never forget.
So Charles to McCaffrey, a cutback run 30, breaks 340. McCaffrey midfield. McCaffrey 40, 30, 20, and toasted all the way down to the 3-yard line on the first play of the game. CMC Dynamite!
Congratulations to the 49ers on a terrific year. And thank you for so many wonderful memories.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Folsom Lake Kia.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. We're looking at partly cloudy skies for the day ahead, along with light winds out of the south. Today, temperatures come back close to average. Expect low 60s and overnight lows in the 40s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Doug Christie here. It's Folsom Lake Kia's President's Day sales event. Save on new 2024 Kias with low payments, low finance rates, and zero down deals on approval of credit. Shop Folsom Lake Kia in the Folsom Auto Mall.
3 little words no parent wants to hear.
My tummy hurts.
And it always seems to happen at the worst times. Like in the middle of the morning rush, when you still have homework to check and lunches to pack, and of course, you're already late for work. Luckily, there's Pepto Kids. Pepto Kids gummies help relieve occasional stomach upsets, turning those 3 words into these 3 words.
I feel better.
Bad time for stomach upsets? Good time for Pepto Kids gummies. Fast support for little tummies.
These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
Shop can't miss deals on appliances this President's Day at Lowe's. Right now, get up to 35% off select major appliances. Plus, save an extra $75 on every $750 you spend on all major appliances, like LG, America's most reliable line of home appliances. Shop in-store or online for more deals you can't beat. Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 2/28. Savings vary based on purchase amount. Exclusions apply. See Lowe's.com for more details.
When the unexpected happens, trust AutoAccident.com. Loyalty and compassion set them apart. They're with you every step of the way. AutoAccident.com. That's AutoAccident.com.
Country in the Park is back May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo with Brantley Gilbert, Dustin Lynch, Jay Cohen, Walker Hayes, and more. Tickets start at just $46. Country in the Park, May 17th and 18th at Cal Expo. For more information, visit CITPFest.com. Brought to you by Coors Light, Garner Roofing, and Roseville Kitchen and Bath.
Maida Chevy has 2.9% APR financing on every new 2024 half-ton Silverado in stock. 2.9 for 72 plus great Maida Chevy savings on new Silverado. Online at MaidaChevy.com. Together, let's try.
Finance with GM. It was 1879 when the first President's Day was established, and it's been a holiday ever since. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. I'm guessing when the Keys family opened the first Naturewood Home Furnishing store in 1948, a President's Day sale was not top of the mind. But the family probably celebrated the holiday with a picnic and a big slice of cherry pie. The store name Naturewood was selected to reflect the quality of the wood furniture for sale. And that focus on quality continues today with brands like Flex Steel, Trailway, Stickley, Fusion Designs, Stanton, and many, many more. The Naturewood Home Furnishings President's Day sale is the perfect time for you to find the right accent piece for your living room, a new bed for your bedroom, or to completely refurnish your entire home. See all the fine furniture and accessories on sale with Naturewood's President's Day sale. Find that perfect piece of furniture that's new today and filled with memories for tomorrow. Naturewood Home Furnishings, off Highway 50 at Hazel. Look for the water wheel.
Get ready for an exciting drive in the 2024 Kia Forte GT line, now at Elk Grove Kia for just $19,988. Experience efficiency with an impressive 39 mpg, smooth rides with automatic transmission, and stay on track with the lane departure warning system for only $19,988. Enjoy modern conveniences with its huge 10.25-inch touchscreen with navigation and a rear camera, Bluetooth wireless technology, and the ease of push-button start for only $19,988. Or lease this incredible ride with no cash out of pocket for only $279 per month plus tax. You heard right. No money down and only $279 plus tax. Elk Grove Kia, where driving dreams come true. Visit us today in the Elk Grove Auto Mall or online at elkgrovekia.com. Sale price $20,738. Dealer choice rebate $750. Net price $19,988. Must finance through Kia Finance 5 at this price. 24 monthly 0 cash down. Residual of $63,950 based on 10K per year. 20 cents a mile over 0 security deposit. Kia Tier 1 approval required. Expires 2/15/2024.
Elk Grove Kia.
Sactown Sports. Call or text at 916-339-1140.
Somehow we missed this or didn't get to it yet. I did see that the Warriors basically blew it in the end, and Klay committed a pretty bad foul. Brandon Pajemski, my favorite player, Pods, makes a corner three, and it cuts the deficit to 3 with a little less than a minute left. And Klay, I don't know what Klay was attempting to do, and he fouls one of the Clippers players. It's like he was trying to press, like this is West Virginia or something like that. He fouls them, sends them to the line, and the bench goes crazy. Steve Kerr basically falls to his knees. Okay, and the whole bench is losing it. And what I didn't see is that after that foul, this could just be frustration, but after the foul, Klay or Steph at midcourt puts his hand out to dap Klay. And Klay big leagues him and does not put his hand out at all. He just, the video's right here. I just showed Chris. He just, and maybe he's just mad at himself.
Yeah, that's what I think it is.
But no. I'm going, I
you're
am
trying
going
to make this salacious.
No, so now I'm seeing things saying.
Yeah, I mean, I know
Klay,
what people are probably
No,
saying.
here we go. Klay leaving Steph hanging after he committed that goofy foul last night is a man that knows Steph and Dre was about to ship him off as part of a LeBron deal. I mean,
that's reading way too much into the situation.
Chris, you saw the video.
I did, but I didn't know it with the context. That's not what that is at all. He's upset that
you can't
he messed
show up your guys.
It's not showing him up.
This
It's
team is
frustration. He's
broken.
like, I know Steph is trying to make me feel better right now, but we all know I just messed up major. And so I'm not going to dap you up because we both know I just screwed up and I'm not going to live with that. Like Klay knows he especially knows he's supposed to be personally better than that. So yeah, I didn't know it had all that. I didn't know it was right. That happened after that shot. If I had to imagine too, because if you look at Steve Kerr on the sideline, he's like, no foul, which tells me, I believe before he hit that 3, they were probably planning on taking a 2 and then fouling. And then Steve Kerr had to tell his team, actually, we're breaking from that plan. Don't foul. Klay doesn't hear him at all and just fouls instantly.
Hey.
That's what I read it as.
Hey. He left him hanging.
Nobody cares about
Bros,
the truth when the lie is more entertaining.
The Splash Bro, they are a broken team. They're broken.
You're the one who's trying to. Oh, don't do that. Don't do that.
What?
You're the one who's been telling me the past week. You're look out for the Warriors.
No, look out for the Warriors.
Jonathan Kuminga, 20 and 10.
Well,
okay? They're playing their best basketball.
No, they can't get out of their own way. They can't get out of their own way.
Man.
Chris, they can't get out of their own way.
Who are you telling?
No. But I'm saying if they can stop this madness.
No.
Look out for Kuminga.
That place is a circus, man. Absolutely not. No, they're not going anywhere this year.
They were up pretty big late.
Huge in the third quarter, and they just completely collapsed. And I thought all that was supposed to go away when they had Draymond, but I guess not. Like, I guess that team might just actually be a flawed roster. And I
get CP3 back soon.
That's what they keep saying. Yeah,
that's basically like a trade piece.
It sounds like you had a team that has things going, and then you're about to throw another wrench in there. That's probably gonna just throw everything off.
I'm just saying, if they can stay out of their own way.
See.
But
Klay's in a contract year.
No. But here's my thing. I look out for the Warriors. Klay is not part of my statement, though. It's not part of the statement. He's not part of the statement.
I don't know what to do with that. I mean, I feel bad for Klay, man. He is going through it. Feels like he can't catch a break. It feels like, things just keep getting worse for him. It feels like as he's feeling like he's starting to get his rhythm, then I don't know if you saw his comments the other day about, I need to almost like face the fact that I'm moving on to a different point in my career.
Yeah.
I look at guys like how Ray Allen was in Miami and Reggie Miller was late in his Pacers career. And I need to learn how to be more like that and how to impact the game in those ways. And I'm like, this is a dude who like 6 months ago was counting rings on his fingers, acting like No, like remember Wiggins? Like what? Bench me?
Yeah.
Klay Thompson? Like he
You
went
want to bench
from
me and Wiggs?
he went throwing Wiggins under the bus. He went from being like offended by being asked what's wrong with you to flat out saying, I need to shift. I am not at the same point in my career as I was or as I thought I was. I need to start considering, hey, what's it look like if Klay Thompson just stands in the corner and needs to hit a big shot? Like, that's crazy to me that he's going through it like that. And I feel bad for him because Klay was always the one who, you say Klay was exempt from your example. Klay was always the one that I can't be mad at Klay. Like, my feelings on Wardell are well documented. Draymond, whatever.
Sure.
KD, cupcake.
Sure.
But that man Klay, the Klay and Rocco, Klay on the boat, China Klay, you know, scaffolding Klay.
Yeah.
That guy lived on the side. I could be
It's not just
happy
for
with
you.
him.
That's everybody.
And just to hear him going through it like that, man, it breaks my heart because Klay was supposed to be the ultimate vibe guy, and it sounds like he's the one whose vibes are messed up the most, which could just be symptomatic of that situation in general.
Yeah, and look, it wasn't too long ago there was a report that Klay did turn down a 2-year extension over the break, and I don't think whatever it was, I don't know if he's going to get that now. It's not a Schroeder level fumble, but it's close. Dwayne Baker on the sack chat. To be fair, Draymond was trying to take a nap, and they were playing a basketball game around him last night. That was at least 2 to 3 minutes. I haven't seen anything like that. Remember when Carmelo did that?
Yeah.
That was the last time I've seen anything like that. Draymond's on the ground, and there were at least 2 sequences as Draymond is just sitting on the ground. I guess, is that a flop? I mean, what? You can't call that a flop, but he's just sitting there on the ground.
If he's got to do that instead of hit people, I'll take that.
Yeah. And then at one point, Draymond flashed the 4 last night and then did a very weird hand gesture that I'm not really sure what it was. And he mouthed something. It was a really bizarre game last night.
Yeah, it's so strange.
I just fired it up once the Kings were done, and it was weird.
Yeah, there's a great Game of Thrones saying, I think it's Tywin Lannister says, no true king has to say he's king.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel every time the Warriors throw up their
corny.
4 rings.
It's
I'm
so
like,
corny.
We all know you guys won championships, but I think the fact that you are so adamant about telling people, hey, don't forget we have all of these rings, that, like, what didn't Draymond say? Insecurity speaks that's what that is every single time I see it. I'm like, y'all can feel the pressure of the entire league breathing down your neck.
Right. And just say it was a good run, right?
No, yeah, exactly.
Just say it was a good run. So
they have 4 rings, but act like that old Celtics team that has 1 and reminds us of that 1.
Right. And if you are, you know, a Warriors and Niners fan, I think it's pretty funny because now a lot of these Niners fans and Niners media talking about this whole luck thing and how you just got bad breaks. It's funny because in Warriors world, we have all these hypothetical losses, right? If Kyrie and Kevin Love played in 2015, if KD never did this, if so-and-so never did that, people love to bag on the Warriors. Right. People love to bag on the Warriors and say, you guys wouldn't have won if these things happened. But now you have Warriors Niner fans, and other Niner fans are saying, well, we actually won the Super Bowl. We just had some bad breaks. So they have a bunch of hypothetical wins in their mind. Before we get to a break, always going to read a 510 number when talking about the A's. It says, I grew up 1 BART stop from the Coliseum. My family's taxes still paying for Mount Davis and the arena renovation. One last text on Fisher. He and Mark Davis can rot. Will burn my A's gear like I did Raider gear already. I only marginally support the Warriors because of Steph, Draymond, and Klay. Once they're gone, I'm probably done with pro sports except for maybe minor league baseball. 510, you got the Ballers.
Wow.
You got the Now that's somebody would invest in the Ballers if they do this right. If you do it right and if the A's leave, I think the Ballers have a chance to turn some heads and bring some greatness of baseball back to Oakland. And all you need is one dude to ball out, because they'll get a lot of indie ball players get signed.
Yeah.
One guy gets signed, gets a cup of coffee or gets to stay in the majors. That's a great story.
Yeah.
You know, that's a great story. He comes back. Hey, that's a baller alumni. There could be something here, but you know, and I would say, you know, it really just depends on how A's fans feel about these next couple years and how it would be accepted or not accepted, as I'm texting some of my Oakland buddies right now. All right, got to get to a break. When we get back, we are joined by the Drive Guys, Stiles and Watkins, Sactown Sports.
Did you miss any part of our live local shows? Don't worry, you never have to miss them again. Check out SactownSports.com and search our podcast page and play our shows when you want. The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Stiles and Watkins, and the Drive Guys. Plus, other podcasts like Return of the Empire, Return of the Roar, the Stingers Up podcast, and Golf to Go with Frank LaRosa.
They're all available right now on SactownSports.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. I got good news. The American Energy Heat and Air $0 HVAC diagnostic has been extended to February 29th. That's right. It expired at the end of January, but want to give you all an opportunity who missed out to get in. It's a $99 value. All right, it's $100, and right now it's free. I don't know how much easier I can pitch that. Normally $100, now $0. Let the American Energy team test your system, your connections, and all the moving parts of that system to make sure it's functioning properly. And you know who's going to be coming to your home? A group of people that have an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. A group of folks that have been making the greater Sacramento area proud since 1981. $0 HVAC diagnostic. Normally a $100 value right now at American Energy Heat and Air. Go to AmericanEnergyAir.com or call them to make your appointment. 916-520-9990.
Toyota's President's Day sales event ends Monday. Now is your chance to save big with President's Day deals on legendary Toyota trucks. Don't miss out. Right now, get $750 cash back on the powerful 2024 Tundra, or see your dealer for details on the all-new redesigned 2024 Tacoma. Hurry in. Toyota's President's Day sales event ends Monday. Toyota, let's go places. Offer available through TFS to buyers with premium ready credit. Excludes TRD Pro and 3424.
Guys, want to lose weight, improve your performance, and increase your drive? Revive Men's Health Sacramento can help you address the root causes of weight gain, low energy, poor drive, and performance issues. And since your testosterone level has a direct impact on your weight and fitness, we'll give you a free T-check and free exam at Revive Sacramento. Imagine upping your game, losing weight, and getting in shape all at once. Revive can help you make it happen with our new cutting-edge weight loss medications like your favorite athletes and celebrities use. They're affordable and available now. Weight gain and low T are treatable conditions. We know we can help you. Take that first step and book today. You're only one step away from getting in the best shape of your life. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Plantar fasciitis feels like pointed, sharp pain, very intense. It can make your eyes water. It makes you walk funny because you're trying to get pressure off your heel. I had instability. I was so frustrated. I didn't know what to do. And I was driving past the Good Feet store. I mean, why not? Give it a try.
For over 20 years, we've been helping people like Teresa actually live the life they love without their feet getting in the way.
They wanted to make sure they fitted me with the right thing. And so they brought out several different arch supports and gave me the opportunity to try them in shoes and walk around with them until they found the perfect ones for my feet. I had no idea that they would be that patient, and I had no idea they would be that kind. And you just knew, like, your feet, just when they got on the right ones, they were like, oh yeah. And it really did make a big difference. It made my foot not hurt. I'm Teresa, and that's my Good Feet story.
See what we can do for you with a free personalized arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
Visit the Good Feet store in Sacramento, Roseville, and Vacaville.
Hey, it's Doug Christie here for Folsom Lake Ford. During the President's Day Sell-a-thon, get $0 down deals on approval of credit, huge discounts, and top dollar for all trades. Shop your truck headquarters at FolsomLakeFord.com.
Live and local. This is Sactown Sports.
Joined by Whitey Gleason of the Drive Guys. Whitey, we have, okay, you always come to us with games. We have a game for you.
Let's go.
I know you were listening, so you might already know where this is headed. But if not, so Ty Lue last night got ejected from the Warriors. And this actually all happened organically because I was just saying, I didn't think it was a question. And Chris brought it to our attention that maybe I had misquoted Ty Lue. So basically, Ty Lue is leaving the building after the game last night. The Clippers come back and win. The Warriors blow it. And he's looking for the refs. And he says,
James, I want to kick him in the mouth.
Yes. Okay. Now, the question is, did he say kick or kiss? So we're going to play the audio for you again. And you help us decide. We have it on the poll right now. We're trying to, let's see what the numbers are at. We have, most people think he says 53% says kiss. 47% says kick. Let's play it again. And Whitey, let's see what you think they're saying.
Where's James at? The referee, I want to kick him in the mouth. Where's James at? The referee, I want to kick him in the mouth.
Oh, he said kiss.
What?
And it's funny you said that because I was just reading about it. I hadn't heard that audio. Mm-hmm. I heard you guys talk about it a little, but I didn't hear that audio. I was just reading that he said, that's why I said to you, what is being written is that he said, I want to kick him in the mouth.
That's
not what he said.
Where's James at? The referee, I want to kick him in the mouth.
My man.
There's like an S sound in the background that I think is overlaying.
Have you ever heard anyone in your whole life say, where's so-so? I want to kick him in the mouth.
That's what I said.
Kiss him in the mouth, though, is horrible. Kiss in the mouth?
I'm really concerned.
It's an old school. I've heard.
Old school YMCA back in the day.
No. I've heard people say, "Oh, did you kiss them in the mouth?"
No.
No, like with babies. Hey, don't kiss my baby in the mouth.
What? No. I think it's wild that Nate thinks that it's more insane to kiss someone in the mouth than to kick them in the mouth.
How do you even kiss someone in the mouth?
I'm not.
You're really getting caught on the semantics of in.
Yes.
Like he was
the worst part.
I also think Ty Lue is way too smart to say, "Where's James? I want to kick him in the mouth."
Man, why do you?
You
could just replace
way
me.
too smart,
but not too smart to say kiss him in the mouth.
Yeah, he's making a joke like, "Oh, he's my buddy. We're so friendly. I want to kiss him."
Right, you were texting him. You were texting him.
Check the messages.
Texting him.
Check the messages.
Give me your phone.
This is how it goes, man.
Where's James at? The referee, I want to kick him in the mouth.
Play it again.
Where's James at? The referee, I want to kick him in the mouth.
Kick.
He's not that dumb.
He's got to get suspended for that.
You're going to get suspended if you say I'm going to kick. If you're threatening assault on a referee.
Yes.
Mike Brown literally brought out a laptop and got fined $50,000. What do you think's going to happen if you are literally storming around the locker room saying, "Where is the ref? I want to kick him in the mouth."
Where James at?
The referee.
Where James at?
Y'all are wild.
And he might have said kiss him on the mouth.
It's a straw man argument.
Kiss him in the mouth.
I don't
kiss
think
him on the mouth. Kiss him on the kiss. You say it fast. Kiss him in the mouth.
James at the referee, I want to kick him in the mouth.
I'm pressing on my headphones here.
That's
pressing.
The problem is we're going to walk out of the studio and everyone's going to tell us it was kiss.
No, that's fine. He was just misquoted then. He was misquoted because I just read it. I am maybe hearing an S. I just didn't know if it was the back. But
who was more angry? I take it you saw the game.
Mm-hmm.
Who was more angry, Ty Lue at that point or Steve Kerr after Clay committed the
man? Well, we just talked about Clay or Steph goes to dap up Clay after that play, and Clay leaves him hanging.
Yeah.
He leaves him hanging.
Clay acted like he had just found out they almost traded him to the Lakers for LeBron.
Thank you. Come on back to this side, Whitey. Come on back to this side.
Y'all are salacious.
No. Come on back.
Feeling
to this
bad
side.
about his own performance.
That's right.
He's feeling bad about letting down his team.
So I'm going to show up my guys on national television. No. National television.
Now is not the time for handshakes, Wardell.
Well,
it's time for winning.
Well, that's what's going to actually, made me think about Mason Jones and how there can be a level of being too optimistic. Especially when you're not like that.
Sure.
Right. He's got to be careful to not just be, he's got to tote the line. He can't be like that all the time or he could get on people's nerves.
How did we get from Steph Curry to Mason Jones again?
Hey, if I'm not in the mood, I'm not in a good mood right now.
Yeah.
And Mason's just the eternal optimist. This is what a lot of people said about Hunter Pence calling Giants games. When he would be he's Hunter Pence. He's so optimistic. He's so happy-go-lucky. And you're watching a bad product and they're losing. And a lot of people didn't like it because they were saying, Hunter, just not now. Not now is my whole
I
point.
thought Clay was just embarrassed. Like, I just screwed up. I'm not going to.
What?
I'm not going to.
You just. Thank you.
The whole game, he was sulking because he found out he was going to get traded,
Okay,
but
now-
LeBron said
you.
no. And then when it came time for, Steph's like, hey. And he's like, no, I don't deserve that, Steph.
He's somehow on both of our
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know who to claim on that.
I don't know whether it's kick or kiss. It's just a lot. It's just a lot going on. Whitey,
Where's Clay Thompson at? I want to kiss him in the mouth. Says Steve Kerr.
Cut that. Whitey, as the Kings go to All-Star break, were you impressed last night with how they won just because they shot so poorly from three? Doesn't this feel like a win that we've been waiting to see?
It's a leading
from the
question,
Kings?
but I'll allow it. It does. But obviously, to me, the impressive thing was that they were behind so early, and it's the last game before the break, and there's altitude. They played the night before. It would have been very easy to just say, And then they fall behind. They come back, then they fall behind by 16 again. It was very easy at that point to just, it's not our night, guys. And they still
Cancun
came
on
back.
3. Right?
Yeah. I mean, the Nuggets, were complicit in their own demise to a degree, but still, that was impressive.
Yeah, and that to me, and I know Jamal Murray didn't play, that stretch towards the end when it was right out of a timeout, I think De'Aaron Fox went swipe of the Fox and got a steal, and there were a couple of transition buckets that the Kings got. It was a bit surprising to me to see the Nuggets crumble like that, and honestly, I know it's just one stretch, and the Kings are undefeated against the Nuggets. And Chris and I have basically agreed on the fact that the Nuggets are really, really good, but to repeat, they'll have a chance at it. But stuff like that, the cracks in the armor, I don't know that I'm putting the Nuggets back in the finals in Sharpie at all.
How about the Clippers?
That might be more of a conversation. It's more about health, I think, with the Clippers. I think they figured out how to play together. But Kawhi out, and now speaking of Kawhi being out, could that open up a spot for Sabonis in the All-Star game? I'm the most worried about the Clippers, but I also think that the Clippers can still Clipper and get in their own way.
They can still Clipper? All right.
Like Chargers going to charge.
Yes,
it's a secondary LA teams.
Yeah.
They always
gotcha.
Fall short.
Angels going to angel.
Angels.
They definitely are.
Yeah. Angels are not. They're not even in a position to angel. By the way,
Mighty Ducks are going to. No, I'd say I take it too far.
No, the Ducks actually. They get down. They got a championship not too long ago.
I have no idea.
I have a buddy who's a Ducks fan.
Whitey, I don't want to step on the show too much, but were you surprised by Chris Duarte just being thrown out there in the fourth quarter?
That. Yes, yeah. Duarte is back. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he contributed.
He did. Yes. No.
Well,
in order to be back, you had to have done that.
I will say the second three he took, you don't see an NBA player miss by that much.
You sure don't.
Very often, but he made the first, so 1 for 2, whatever. But that was like, watching the replay, he must have gotten kicked somewhere.
Katie kept saying he got hit on the hand,
and I was kicked
in
the mouth, but he didn't. That's okay. He made a 3 and he defended well.
Yeah,
they need, if they're not going to go into the buyout market, which I know you guys have been talking about, it doesn't look like they will. Then you're going to need Sasha when he gets healthy, Duarte, some of these guys that you brought in. You guys got to help.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%. And then Davion Mitchell, too, he seems to be back in the rotation. He's hitting shots. I mean, that was the big thing that we talked about this offseason was if Davion's hitting shots,
that was one of my predictions.
It's a different guy, right?
Both predictions.
That's right. 36.
I think I'm
35% from 3. Yeah, I don't know what he's sitting at now, but it could be big. I mean, I was trying to tell Al, and I was like, I think that, we're going to see a lot of these guys, and there's going to be a lot of rotational battles. That's what I'm expecting to see these last 27, 28 games.
You want to hear Chris's best bowl prediction? I know we're up against it, and we did it every day, so we all had goofball ones, both of us. But the one that really sticks out for some reason,
I already know.
He said that Sasha and HB were going to be BFFs.
Yes,
I don't know.
You're forgetting about the nickname too. His HB's nickname was going to be the Ambassador.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That was a really important part of that prediction.
Have they kicked it together?
I literally have not seen a single image of them even standing next to each other. So I'm not entirely certain
they have each other's numbers, you think?
they're probably in a similar group text, but it's one of those where it's like, who's the 776 number? Like, I don't even know what kind of area codes they have in Bulgaria, but it's
wow, that is bold.
Yeah.
It's also hard to confirm.
Yeah, that's why it was a bold guess.
Yeah.
Well, I was just, I don't know. I just
He had
was
some
like,
good ones too. It's just that's the one I remember because at the time I was like, where are you going with that?
It was summer, man. It was summer.
We'll see. Maybe
the vibes were vibing.
Yeah, vibes have to be. All right, getting out of here. Thank you to Brad, SF Niners. Thank you to Nate. Stiles and Watkins, we will be back. No opportunity for the Kings to get a beam. But either way, we'll see if Sabonis gets added to the All-Star with Kawhi and what he's got going on. Thank you for listening. We will be back tomorrow, Friday Fun Day. Until tomorrow, secure the bag, light the beam.
Can Mike Brown build on last season's Coach of the Year award?